But holy smokes.
All right, everyone, welcome. We are live on Facebook, Rumble, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Telegram. Today, we are airing the premiere of the Roger Hillygus case extended timeline number 3 with much of the exculpatory evidence in it, restoring our American Republic, aka ROAR. So, with that being said, thank you for joining us. Please share this out, everybody, as Facebook is blocking me from posting and sharing to groups for another 2 days. So, help me share this out on the Facebook angle if anybody can that's watching, and also any other platforms that you may see it on. We are on multiple platforms. So, with that being said, let me read our little disclaimer here. Um, Actually, let me bring it up. Give me 1 second, and then we'll. Do you want to go just briefly introduce yourself, Stu, and Matt, real quick, and your previous work public servant history, real quick for our viewers, while I get this disclaimer brought up?
Certainly. I'll go first. Good evening and Merry Christmas Eve to everybody listening in tonight. My name is Stuart Evans Hantty. I'm a 49-year resident of the state of Nevada. 30 of those years I spent in the law enforcement profession, where I served as a sheriff of the county, 2 tribal chiefs of police, 2 stints as deputy sheriff, adult probation officer, and most of my career as a state trooper and senior state trooper with the Nevada Highway Patrol. Sitting to my right is a good friend of mine and longtime family friend, Matt Pazak. I'll let him introduce himself as well.
Hi there, Matt Pazak, 61-year resident of the state of Nevada. I was a deputy sheriff, sergeant on the sheriff's department. I went to Nevada Highway Patrol and retired as a rank of lieutenant. 28 years total of public service. Yeah, well, criminal investigator with the Nevada State Contract Board. Worked for the state of Montana. So,
and be it known that both Matt and my father, Stuart Hantty, again, both Matt's father, John Pazak, no longer with us, God bless his soul. My father, John Hantty, no longer with us, God bless his soul. Both sets of our parents are gone now. Both worked together at the Washington County Sheriff's Office. Matt's dad, Captain John Pazak, retired with 33 years of service. He ran for sheriff twice here in the county. My father supported him both times, which of course caused some uproar as his position as the deputy sheriff of the Washington County Sheriff's Office, where he served from 1975 to 1982. He also served the Citizen State of Nevada as employment security officer. That organization no longer exists. And my dad retired after 28 years of service to the public here in the state of Nevada, Citizen State of Nevada, District State of Nevada. Both Matt and I loved and cared for citizens of the state of Nevada, still do. And we were very proud of our accomplishments and achievements in our law enforcement careers. And with that, Stephen, I hand it back to you.
All right, cool, awesome. Let me just read our disclaimer, and then we will begin with the timeline. Okay. The views expressed on this show are expressly the views of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views, beliefs, or opinions of News for Us World, its hosts, broadcasters, or affiliates. Remember, folks, always use your own discernment when viewing. We encourage our viewers to think for themselves. All right, everyone. So let's get right into it. We're going to be premiering timeline number 3 with much of the exculpatory evidence on the Hillygus case, restoring our American Republic, aka ROAR. So, with that being said, let me bring it up, and then we'll start. And then after the live, we have a call-in line also. So I want our viewers to call in and ask questions and give their input on what they thought of this case and what they think about the corruption and what they think we can do about it. So please, everybody, if you're watching, please call in after we premiere the timeline, and we will be taking your questions, as well as showing some other exculpatory evidence we have not included in the timeline as of yet due to time constraints on the live. So that's going to be an exclusive that you will all be looking forward to. And we're going to do it that way. And we're going to be putting out much more on this in the next several weeks to come as well. So. One moment, folks, just bringing it up, and then we can start. All right.
Imagine
All right, let's begin. Let me make sure I'm sharing my sound. There we go. Cool. All right, you guys ready?
We're ready.
Imagine a world where bullies are held accountable, where victims reclaim their dignity, and where justice isn't just a word, but a reality. Welcome to the Revive Our America's Republic Theater, where the drama of truth, consequences, and lawful justice unfolds. In this theater, the bullies receive their notice of liability, a personal account of their acts or omissions. Here, an audit of public offices and servants is conducted, examining those who fail to provide due process. Professionals from diverse fields, who have turned common people into victims for corporate profit, are scrutinized. Victims who have been denied due process can learn how to hold public bodies accountable, removing elements that no longer serve the people, peacefully and effectively through constitutional law. Yet, this isn't just a theater, it's a reflection of real-life dramas, a mirror of true crime. It captures the essence of a world where denial of due process affects lives, causing irreversible damages. It's a journey into a corporate jungle where fraud and treason are rampant, where racketeering is a common practice. In this theater, we have identified over 250 actors in public offices involved in serious crimes of trafficking people for profit over the last 10 years. This theater is a testament to those who have been healed, humbled, and are native to earth, bound by the laws of nature's first principles. It's a pledge to love all and harm none. By enforcing lawful, peaceful, and effective accountability, it heals the harms, provides remedies to make one whole again through repentance, repair, and atonement. This theater uncovers truths and frauds, a real-life RICO unfolding in real time. It calls out those accused, like Mr. Bear Breslow, a dishonored judge, urging him to account for his anti-justice fraud. In this theater, the accused are urged to defend themselves from the evidence presented in the People's Forum Court of Public Opinion. Live on Facebook every day at noon in each of the 4 time zones. Our first case example is that of Roger Rabbit and Sheriff Stu, who have agreed to be the inaugural case of America's Republic People's Great Grand Jury. By freeing them, the theater symbolizes the freeing of all other victims, reinforcing the belief that the truth sets us free. In summary, the Revive Our America's Republic Theater is more than just a stage. It's a platform for justice, for holding those accountable who choose to deny due process, practice harmful deeds, and omit the truth. It's a platform to revive our republic, to ensure that justice isn't just a word, but a reality for all.
The ongoing and continuing saga of Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Sheriff Stu, from 1993 through 2023. The acts and deeds of omissions and fraud therein. This is their pettit trial. You be the judge. This is a detailed analysis of the exculpatory evidence withheld in court from discovery in this case, including but not limited to the local county court denying due process, where the politicians and the State Court of Appeals, the Nevada Supreme Court, the Federal District Court, and SCOTUS are covering for the corrupt lower courts actors. Who is Roger Hillygus? Upon graduating from UNR, the University of Reno, in 1992, with a bachelor's in science and business administration, the president selected Mr. Hillygus to review the curriculum of the College of Business. The directors of the Washoe County School District Transportation Department, where Mr. Hillygus was employed for 12 years, selected him to participate in a 6-month internship program to research administrative inefficiency, affect change, and make recommendations. The superintendent of Washoe County School District placed him on a year-round school task force to make recommendations. Roger, as building representative for the National Council of Structural Engineers Association, Employees Association, negotiated contracts, resolved grievances and disputes with management, represented members in meetings, and aided in the formulation of policies and procedures. He was a Rotary International Rotech Scholar and Ambassador of Goodwill, representing the USA, Sparks Rotary, and his community while at the University of the Philippines in Cebu City. In 1992, he consulted the CEO and founder of MPCI Carrageenan Seaweed Manufacturing in Southeast Asia, for entrance into international markets. In Valencia, Spain, he attended the university and taught English. Mr. Hillygus' leadership qualities, community service, sense of adventure, integrity, and commitment to others as a team player, EMT, and firefighter encompass his personality. Roger supports the Alzheimer's Association, the Reno Rodeo Association, the Nevada White Hats.
My name is Roger Hillygus. I'm currently living in Dayton, Nevada, which is outside of Carson City, and my case is occurring in the 2nd Judicial District Court in Reno, Nevada. I've got an estranged sibling who thought it was important to take my parents, who were diminished in their capacity, to Idaho to purchase properties with the inheritance, which was placed into the family trust. So his trust assets were being used to purchase properties in another state. So what I didn't realize, and they shortly, about this same time, they gave me the trust and the powers of attorney that they had put in place back in the early 90s.
My name is Roger Hillygus. My mother is Susan Hillygus. She is being kept locked in a facility in Reno, Nevada. I was her power of attorney and I was her trustee. Corrupt equity courts, the family courts, have taken jurisdiction over my mother, and I'm being restricted from caring for her, which I had done for 3 years. So I believe that her civil rights are being violated, and these corrupt courts need to be stopped.
Who is Stuart Hanty? The Mineral County Board of County Commissioners voted unanimously on November 20th to offer Stuart Hanty, a probation officer who lived in Reno, Hanty to take over as sheriff. From Mineral County Independent News. Hanty to take over as sheriff. Posted by C.W. Wilkinson, December 5th, 2013. From Mineral County Independent News. The Mineral County Board of County Commissioners voted unanimously on November 20th to offer Stu Hanty, a probation officer who lived in Reno before he was offered the job, the position of Mineral County Sheriff. He will take the oath of office in a few weeks after he passes a background check. As a leader of law enforcement agency, you want to make sure your community is safe. That's paramount, Hanty said during his interview. If you don't have a safe community, what's the attraction to people that potentially want to come here, not just to live, but to open up a business? Hanty holds a bachelor's degree from the University of Nevada, Reno in criminal justice and served on the Nevada Highway Patrol for 19 years.
In the cause of Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Sheriff Stewart, we are here to serve Jesus justice, freeze the fraud, flipping the script, and flattening the curve. Intending no harm, but to cure and correct, heal the harms, cancelling corruption culture with constitutional good behaviour of due process. Together, in 1993, Father Gene and Mother Susan Hillygus provided the Hillygus Family Trust. Son Roger was appointed trustee to the trust. The death clause made it clear that anyone who tampers with the words of the trust shall be known as dead before the settlers, not entitled to any benefits of the trust.
13. Incontestability. If any beneficiary under this trust agreement shall, singularly or in conjunction with any other person or persons, contest in any court the validity of this trust agreement or of the will of either trustor, or shall seek to obtain an adjudication in any proceeding in any court that this trust agreement or any of its provisions, or that such will or any of its provisions is void, or seek otherwise to void, nullify, or set aside this trust agreement or any of its provisions, then the right of that person to take any interest given to him by this trust agreement shall be determined as it would have been determined had that person died prior to the date of execution of this trust agreement.
Attorney Moss wrote and filed the trust, was paid in full and fired by Gene, as you can see in Gene's letter to Moss. Because when it came time, in probate court, to honour what he wrote, Moss Turncoat, as a scofflaw, went full pirate against Gene and Susan with his culpable cohorts, helped lock up both Gene and Susan to be isolated and drugged until they died. Gene's bar-ass attorney, Susan's bar-ass attorney, Roger's many bar-ass attorneys, and the bar-ass attorneys for the Hillygus Family Trust, the Sheriff and Washoe Police Department, officers and jailers.
I'd go see the management of the facility, show them your documents, explain to them rationally, here's my plan, here's what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it, this is all the documentation that I have. Can you help me fulfill the orders of this so I can get my money?
He asked District Attorney Alison Jenkins, who lied, admitted and recanted her lies, and withheld exculpable evidence as she called for the FBI Silver Alert to apprehend a dangerous kidnapper.
When you said that Stuart Henty was wrong, that Gus was on that signing sheet, you were wrong, weren't you?
Yes, I was wrong.
With orders to shoot to kill across the California state border with no records available, no exculpatory evidence, no police records, no sheriff records, no FBI from Nevada or California records released or available. No records to show that which the Google search and national media clearly identifies as the violent 4-hour standoff and serious takedown of the dangerous Roger, kidnapper of his mother. The drama ended when kidnapper Roger was found sleeping on the couch of his uncle.
At what point did you realize that he was actually, police were looking for him?
When they rammed on my door.
Dester says Hillygus' mother is her boyfriend's only sister, and he showed up about a week ago asking to stay with them.
He takes good care of his mother, though. He feeds her, he diapers her, bathes her. No, absolutely no mistreating that we could see while they were here.
Dester says she and her boyfriend were in the front room when officers rushed in and were escorted out. Hillygus was in the back with his mother, and she doesn't know exactly what happened next.
The judges, Simple Sullivan, Dishonored Doherty, Wicked Walker, and the Appeals Court, all for Probate Court, all actively participated in the Washoe Legal Services. The Washoe County Commissioners, the Nevada Senators and Representatives, even the Federal District Court and the United States Supreme Court refused jury and denied the records or to cure and correct this injustice. Approximately 250 public servants failed, refused or denied due process. Each are culpable for the violations and damages. All refused to allow, denied the jury to hear the evidence and to determine the truth. They each allowed Roger to be claimed as a vexatious litigant, preventing Roger from defending himself. Charge Roger of violating retroactively the Simulated Document Assembly Bill. Charge Roger to be a vexatious litigant, sovereign citizen, and a dangerous constitutional mindset they agree that they have seen before, and find them to be a danger to society. Now in criminal court, challenging jurisdiction, being denied filing for his defense, refused the records of exculpatory evidence. Now in criminal court, challenging jurisdiction, being denied filing for his defense, refused the records of exculpatory evidence. Now Mr. Bully Breslow, without constitutional authority, no oath, no bond, claims jurisdiction for D.A. Bar Ass Attorney Mr. Anus Stinky. Mr. Biggie Breslow has created a new thing called the Anonymous Jury. January 2024. Mr. Biggie Bully Breslow and Mr. Anus Stinky plan to put Roger and Stuart in prison for 68 years, including a charge of burglary, to enhance their talking points to the Anonymous Jury. The state of Nevada passed a new bill and retroactively charged Roger with the added crime of filing simulated documents. The Simulated Document Assembly Bill Roger is charged with, due to the sovereign citizen doctrine, will not release them unless he will denounce the We the People's petite jury verdict, accepted and filed in Washoe Court on the record. The We the People jury verdict, finding Roger innocent of kidnapping as he rescued his mother from isolation, abuse, neglect and drugging, which was to her ultimate demise 2 months later. She was killed like her husband was. In 2011, Sister Robin Renwick, Bar Ass Attorney Todd Torvinen, Bar Ass Attorney Stephen Moss, Bar Ass Attorney Spritzer, Bar Ass Attorney Ryan Earl and Bar Ass Washoe Legal Services with Judge Ryan Sullivan, Judge Francis Doherty, Judge Egan Walker, many deviate Bar Ass attorneys, for 10 years took as much as they could without curing or correcting the trust issues. Actually gang-stalking Roger into the legal rat race jungle zoo of Oz, to protect himself and his mother with every minute of his time, every breath, every thought, every feeling, every action, and every available resource for many years without resolve. And now, present day, December 2023, for 4 solid years, Roger and his next friend, witness Stuart Henty, are being persecuted relentlessly for protecting and rescuing Roger's mother. Oathless and bondless fraud. Judge Mr. Biggie Bully Breslow and his district attorney Mr. Anus Stinky continue to try to amend, restate and steal a revocable trust. The trust was none of those things. It is the Hillygus Family Trust. These untrustworthy administrators have attempted to replace Roger as trustee with Randall from another mother, who was intentionally excluded from the trust. Randall's son-in-law, Adam Clark, by fraud was named trustee, and Roger is being persecuted while doing his best to communicate in a rigged system of wolves, with the trust having the death clause of incontestability. Messed with the trust, and now you are known to be dead. In 2013, Robin was so violent at Christmas, a restraining order against her was necessary. Robin took Jean to all of his doctor appointments. He had been declining with Alzheimer's for a few years. Robin made sure he took 8 types of drugs daily and then locked him in a facility. She attended all of Jean's interviews with the doctors, convincing the doctors and declining Jean both that Roger had malicious intent against Jean and should not be trustee. Jean was not sure who actually was named trustee, as the doctor's report states. Jean did not have the capacity to make choices for himself, is why he had the trust created. Robin manipulated the estranged son, Randall's son-in-law, Adam Clark, to be appointed trustee. Robin, with her wolf boy bar-ass divorce attorney Todd Torvenin, went to his old buddy, his 20-year partner in Washoe Legal Services, Miss Frances Doherty, who was soon removed from office for stealing too many trusts. Roger's trust was her last one. In fact, Doherty's name was scrubbed from the court docket, and her name was replaced with the name Honourable Unsworthy, who was never known to be a part of this case. Doherty removed the restraining order against Robin, then evicted Roger from Susie's home with a SWAT team. That was overkill. Roger had a home of his own. He only stayed at Susan's home for her comfort and care. With Jean in the facility and Roger removed from Susan's home, Susan was left alone in her home. Susan had a breakdown. Roger found her unconscious on the floor and rushed her to the hospital. Robin picked up Susan when it was time to go home from the hospital. Robin was then burdened to care for Susan. Robin did not want Roger to have access to Susan, so she locked Susan in a facility, isolated, neglected, abused and drugged. 2016, 2017, 2018. Thousands of documents have been filed in the probate case, and more now that criminal charges are filed. 2019 is when Roger finally realized there is no due process from the Nevada administrators. Roger then looked to We the People to vote for justice. We the People's petite jury unanimously found Roger to be trustee and POA over his mother's trust and responsible for her care. The jury verdict accepted by and was entered on the record of Washoe Probate Court. D.A. Stinky does not want the people to have a vote, or a jury, or a constitution. Roger, Stewart and Tracy took the lawful documents to the Washoe police, asking for a civil escort to rescue his mother. The officer stated, "That is civil, we will not get involved. Go give those papers to the facility and get your mother." 2019, August 8th. Roger and Susan left the institution without incident, smiling and saying goodbye to the staff. All seemed to be well with them, until Lisa. Marie Campbell told Tom, the facility manager and high school mate of Robin, to call the police and call Robin. She said, "There is a restraining order preventing Roger from taking Susan." Tom realized that Susan's $10,000 per month was walking out of the facility. Then Tom told the officer that Roger and Stewart were dragging Susan across the parking lot. They were both lying. No restraining order. Only a picture put there by Robin, not a court order. Only a picture of Roger and his wife. Then Tom told the officer that Roger and Stewart were dragging Susan across the parking lot. They were both lying. No restraining order, only a picture put there by Robin, not a court order. Only a picture of Roger and his wife taped on the wall. The police report was written as a kidnapping of a senior protected person with dementia. And the report of dangerous kidnapping was given to the Assistant District Attorney, Alison Jenkins. Jenkins, advancing her career, failed to investigate before she called the FBI Silver Alert. Jenkins has been demoted to an officer, a street cop. No investigating, and she lied, admitted she was wrong, and redacted her lie on the witness stand. There was no restraining order, nothing preventing Susan from leaving with her son Roger. In fact, Jenkins recorded the interrogation of Roger on the 6-hour ride back to Nevada from California after his arrest. She knew everything, but was stuck in her lies till the redaction, because she was caught red-handed with a forked tongue lying for deception to protect her position, didn't work. And yet Roger was still being pursued after they killed Susan and took all of her money and property, dividing it among themselves, stating in open court it was for Susan's well-being and best interest. Roger and Stewart were aggressively and violently arrested. In and out of jail, mentally evaluated, Mother Susan murdered by design, and as of today, no bond, hold on Roger. He has been in jail for more than 14 months, under inhumane treatment and deplorable conditions. Locked down 23 hours per day, now 2 weeks in solitary confinement, cold, without sufficient clothes, blankets, food, heat, sunshine, exercise, nor clean water, no pencils, no paper, without law library study for his defence. No more filing of documents in defence, no exculpatory evidence allowed on the docket. And the wolves are out for blood since they have taken all the money. 2020, Roger having everything taken from him except the breath from his own life. His mother, his wife, his home, his dogs, cars, collections, chattel, equipment, guns, his impeccable reputation in his community, being a 30-year firefighter. Roger had lost all hope for his future recovery. Roger relocated to be domiciled in the Republic of Texas for his personal safety. Finding a support network, he began working in exchange for living space. Scene script, 2021. His work took him to St. Louis, Missouri. In Missouri, at a grocery store, Roger was surrounded by 6 cars of U.S. Marshals with guns pointing in his face, ready for one wrong move, with instructions to shoot, to kill. Roger was held in Missouri jail for 3 months, waiting to be extradited back to Nevada. No record of Roger's case in Missouri can be found. 2022. Roger extradited and has been locked down 3 hours per day. He has been in a wheelchair for injuries sustained in the jail and refused medical treatment since then. Inhumane evil treatment as punishment by the guards. Roger was held in Missouri jail for 3 months, waiting to be extradited back to Nevada. No record of Roger's case in Missouri can be found. 2022. Roger was extradited and has been locked down 23 hours per day. He has been in a wheelchair for injuries sustained in the jail and refused medical treatment since then. 2023, Roger's support network of advocates is in excess of 780 other victims who have also been denied due process in probate court, having loved ones killed in the same way Susan was, with their inheritances being shared by the BRS attorneys, guardians, medical and facility professionals, officers and judges. 2023, June 23rd, the People's Grand Jury received Roger and Stewart's tort claim. The Grand Jury true bill presentment was unanimous. The People's Grand Jury found, beyond all doubt, probable cause that crimes have been committed by Mr. Bully Breslow and Mr. Anus Stinky, denying due process. 2023, June 27th. The true bill presentment was recorded being served on Mr. Bully Breslow and Mr. Anus Stanky, hand-delivered to their respective offices. The required response was denied. None of the investigative questions were answered by Breslow. 2023, July the 11th, the Grand Jury. True bill presentment was recorded being hand-delivered to each of the county commissioners and read into the record of the meeting. On this day, it was discovered that Mr. Breslow and at least one of the commissioners do not have the required constitutional oath nor performance bond on record to hold public office, and their fellow legals chose not to be concerned about it. Each of them are violating lawful constitutional good behavior. Both of our brothers are now corruption whistleblowers, and both men have given the fullness of their history, retiring from 30 years of spotless careers in public service. Roger a firefighter and Stewart as law enforcement officer and sheriff. Working with the individuals in those fields or work, They have shared stories involving each of them who had a duty to perform but failed. From their story details, we can see that there is suspicion shown that this bad behavior of the administrators of justice actually have vendettas and have been vindictive, relentlessly gang-stalking the two men for their own personal self-serving benefit. The stories we have documented we refer to as the dead man's switch. As many others have died at the hands of these evildoers, it is now known by enough advocates that in the cause of Susan, Roger and Stuart, Scene Script 2023, this caveat, should any further harm come to these men by this systematic corruption, frame fraud of Roger Rabbit and Sheriff Stuart, this effort shall be advanced nationally through victors who have healed from being victims, the victims uniting to audit the books of account. All fraud will be exposed and punished. With the diamonds returned forthwith, evildoers will be removed from enjoying their position post-haste.
Reno Police Department, August 8th, 2019.
And obviously you're there to get your mother.
I'm trying to come to you guys to explain to you that, I've got all the authority to do this.
Like I said, we're not involved. We don't get involved in civil judgments, period. Either side. I don't even care what the judge ruled. The judge ruled that you have full power to walk in there and take the whole facility. That has nothing to do with us. That's a civil judgment. The government has no interest in that, so why would we get involved? So, what I'm saying to you is if you get up there, I would bring all your documents. I wouldn't just walk in there and grab her. I'd go see the management of the facility, show them your documents, explain to them rationally, here's my plan, here's what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it, this is all the documentation that I have. Can you help me fulfill the orders of this so I can get my mom?
Reno PD body cam shows Roger requested a civil standby that was denied. For being a civil matter, Roger did what he was told to do by the officer. Roger and the witnesses signed in to see Susie. He left the document of his authority at the front desk. He experienced a peaceful exit as no one opposed Susie leaving. In this secure facility, Tom the manager states, Susie can go with her son. Note the date says August 8th, 2019. Note that written here it says Stu and Gus. Gus is a nickname Roger has been known by for years. Hillygus. Note Susie's name written in the box to the left of where it says Stu and Gus. Note the time written in the time in box. It says 2:00 p.m. 911 dispatch call by Tom Taylor at Stone Valley, shortly after Roger rescued his mother. August 8, 2019.
Okay. Is his mother does she have dementia or Alzheimer's?
Yes, she does. But the son there's an order that he has to stay away from her. We tried to reach the daughter who is her primary guardian, and we couldn't get through to her.
Okay, is there an order that he's not supposed to have her?
Yes, according to her daughter, Robin Renwick. Hey, I'm on the phone with the police. Can I call you right back?
Okay.
Now,
do you know why he's not supposed to have contact with her?
I have no idea. I could give you the daughter's phone number. Who knows the whole serpent?
Who has power of attorney?
So there's a co-guardian. It's Robin Renwick.
Is that his daughter?
Yes.
Who is the other co-guardian?
It's Casey. I can't read the name.
Do you know who that is?
I've not seen her before either, I don't think.
Okay, co-guardian. Okay, and I'm sorry, what's the daughter's name again? Sorry.
Robin, R-O-B-I-N. Renwick, R-E-N-W-I-C-K.
You haven't been able to get a hold of her?
No, I have.
Okay. And what did she say?
She said call you.
Okay.
But she said that this is considered a contact. Not supposed to come into this building, and we didn't know. There's a flyer, but it was covered up by a bunch of papers, and we're all relatively new here. So, a lot of us didn't know that was in place. At 5.
Is she responding to your location? Or
Robin?
Yeah.
What do you mean responding?
Is she coming to Hill Valley?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because there's really nothing she can do here. I mean, they took her from the...
Do we know where the son might be taking her, or have her?
Well, I guess he lives in Dayton.
Okay.
She said he might be driving a white Honda, an older white Honda.
Today is November 16th, 2023. It's approximately 4:17 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Do you consent to being recorded? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God in light of the fact that you upheld the laws in the state of Nevada, the Nevada Constitution, and the United States Constitution for 30 years as a former law enforcement officer?
I do. I will.
Therefore, everything you provide to this testimonial today is going to be the truth, so help you God, and a fair and accurate rendition of the actual deaths that took place surrounding the rescue of Susan Hillygus for a subsequent emergency in Los Angeles, California, in the Bellflower area, and the eventual fact that it led up to her death. Do you know factual information about that?
I do.
Mr. Hanty, let's start at the beginning. How long did you know Roger Hillygus before you had your chance encounter?
Did not.
Therefore, it was a chance encounter at the attorney's office in Reno?
Correct.
Do you know the name of the attorney?
I do.
Is his name Chuck Kozak?
It is.
During that first encounter, did you have a conversation with Mr. Hillygus?
I did.
Did he mention that right out of the gate, that he had an issue with his mom?
No.
Is it true that he mentioned out of the gate about a traffic citation he received in Story County? And since we can go back on the record with your law enforcement career, isn't it true that you served 2 stints as Deputy Sheriff of the Story County Sheriff's Department, that beginning in July of 2005 and in July 2006, and resuming in January 2007 and leaving in August of 2008? Is that correct?
Correct.
Therefore, did you know the politics and the parameters involving traffic citations in Story County?
I did.
Is it safe to say, Mr. Hanty, that based on the time you served up there as well as living in this area, isn't it true that Story County had a reputation for being quote-unquote corrupt?
Absolutely.
Would that be based on just the sheriff's office alone or other tangible factors?
Other tangible factors, but the sheriff's office, mostly.
Is it true that there was a movie made about the Mustang Ranch, which used to be in Story County, and then shut down and then moved back to Story County in a different area?
Correct.
And didn't that movie involve a mobster by the name of Joey Conforti?
It did.
Did you know Mr. Conforti?
I did.
Did you have social interactions with him?
I did not.
Nick, good to meet you.
How did you meet Mr. Conforti?
16 traffic accident.
Did Mr. Conforti converse with you?
He did.
Based on all the information you know about Mr. Conforti, up to and including that incident that night, you met him assisting that traffic accident, did you figure Mr. Conforti to be a man of a mobster mentality?
Correct.
Therefore, we do have the fact that, Mr. Hanty, you do know a little bit about the foundational composition of Story County to a certain degree based on your previous law enforcement experience up there and the fact that you've lived in the northern Nevada area for 49 years.
Correct.
Bringing back to mind the chance afternoon encounter with Mr. Hillygus at the office of Chuck Kozak, attorney at law in Reno, Nevada, after you had a discussion with Mr. Hillygus, did he bring up a topic involving his mother?
He did.
Was that topic stated to you that he had something of a serious nature to discuss with you?
Correct.
During that initial conversation, did you meet with him?
No.
Did you set up a meeting later down the road to meet with him?
Correct.
Was that meeting at your residence, located at 10305 Coyote Creek Drive in South Reno, Nevada?
It was.
How did that meeting take place? Was it by chance, or was there a correspondence between text messages and or cell phone calls?
Text messages, cell phone calls.
Did you in fact invite Mr. Hillygus over to your house to discuss the situation that revolved around his mother?
I did.
Upon his arrival at your residence, do you know approximately when that was?
Late spring 2019.
Bearing in mind this conversation took place, did Mr. Hillygus bring up any concern involving the care and treatment of his mother?
He did.
Did those concerns bring to light anything of significance involving any one of your family members?
It did.
Did it in fact bring to mind some significant issues involving the subsequent passing of your mother, Barbara Hanty?
It did.
Was your mother physically abused and neglected at an assisted care facility?
Abused, no. Neglected, yes.
Therefore, during the conversation you had with Mr. Hillygus at your residence of 10305 Coyote Creek Drive, did Mr. Hillygus bring some statements of concern to you?
He did.
Did Mr. Hillygus back up those statements with any evidence?
He did.
Was that evidence photographic in nature?
It was.
Do you remember the evidence contained therein involved Miss Hillygus showing a black eye?
It did.
Was that evidence also showing Mrs. Hillygus in disheveled clothing and her hair unkempt?
It did.
Based on what you used to see with your own mother and the subsequent relapsing of memories based on their own treatment of your own mother at an assisted care facility, did you believe at the very minimum Mrs. Hillygus might be being neglected and abused?
I did.
And did you base that decision on 30 years of being a law enforcement officer in the state of Nevada, where you're obligated to investigate allegations of abuse and neglect, whether it's the care facility or not, whether it's by a parent or relative or friend? It's in the duty of local law enforcement agency's jurisdiction to at least investigate those allegations or look into them.
It is.
Bearing that statement in mind, you just stated, did you have concerns about what Mr. Hillygus showed you?
Very much so.
What at this point in time did Mr. Hillygus state to you regarding the conditions of his mother? To be fair, do you think she's being fairly treated? Do you think she was being abused and neglected? Anything of significance?
Abused and neglected, not fairly treated.
Bearing that in mind, did you offer any advice to Mr. Hillygus in the form of your official capacity as a law enforcement officer?
I did not.
That's based on the fact that you were no longer a law enforcement officer at that time. Is that correct, Mr. Hanty?
It was.
And you know for a fact, because if you had been a law enforcement officer at that point in time, you would have had to say and state a conflict of interest because of your official capacity in that law enforcement position, correct?
Correct.
Did you instruct Mr. Hillygus to try and seek release measures for the abuse and neglect and the treatment of his mother at the Stone Valley Care Facility?
I gave him advice.
And was that advice to contact the agency of jurisdiction to report the allegations of abuse?
Yes.
Isn't it true that he tried to report these allegations of abuse and neglect prior to your conversation with him?
I believe so.
As an official law enforcement officer, once again, your duty is to be a first reporter, correct?
Correct.
And even though you're not in law enforcement in your official capacity at this point in time, isn't it true that you felt it was necessary, based on the 30 years you did as a law enforcement officer in the state of Nevada, upholding the Constitution of the state and the United States, did you have a moral and ethical obligation to report what you saw to an official of the jurisdiction agency police department that would handle such cases of neglect and abuse?
Yes.
Isn't it true that that law enforcement agency would have been the Reno Police Department?
Correct.
After your conversation with Mr. Hillygus, isn't it true that he asked you for your help?
He did.
And true, you could not help him, correct?
I could not.
But isn't it true that you also said you would help by assisting him in placing a phone call to the command staff of the Reno Police Department, at which time you were still considered friends of Chief Jason Soto and Commander Oliver Miller and some of the lieutenants there, correct?
Correct.
That's because of your 30 years in law enforcement capacity, you developed a professional relationship with Chief Soto and Commander Miller, and possibly a personal relationship?
Possibly. More or less professional.
Did you assist Mr. Hillygus in reaching out to the Reno Police Department?
I did.
Isn't it true that you, by the mere fact you said assist, you reached out to Chief Soto on his personal cell phone when you still had his number in your cell phone's personal phone book? Isn't that true?
True.
Did you reach out to him because you felt it was necessary for at least the Reno Police Department to be involved in the initial complaint process and to view the evidence being presented to you so that they could take a look as the jurisdictional agency of record to offer some sort of investigation and or complaint into the Stone Valley Assisted Care Facility for the obvious abuse and neglect of Miss Susan Hillygus?
Yes.
Did you make that phone call to Chief Soto?
I did.
Did you reach Chief Soto?
I did not.
Is it true you didn't reach Chief Soto because Chief Soto was out of town?
He was.
Did you receive a return phone call from Chief Soto?
I did not.
Did you receive a phone call from another member of the Reno Police Department command staff?
I did.
Isn't it true that the return phone call was from Commander Oliver Miller?
It was.
Isn't it true that Commander Oliver Miller was befuddled by what you were trying to get across to him?
Seems so.
Did you make yourself pretty clear that you were just reaching out to Reno Police Department because of your training and experience as a law enforcement officer for 30 years? That you had concerns about a fellow human being and sworn to uphold and protect by the Reno Police Department? Mind you, not you, but by the Reno Police Department? However, interpreting your own moral and ethical obligation to this cause, did you feel it was necessary to alert them to what you saw?
It was.
Did you tell Commander Miller that you had concerns about the condition and treatment of Susan Hillygus at the Stone Valley Assisted Care Facility?
I did.
Did Commander Miller state to you anything other than he would sit down and meet with Mr. Hillygus to discuss his own concerns?
He did.
Do you know for a fact that Commander Miller did not meet with Mr. Roger Hillygus?
He did not.
Take me back to August 8th of 2019. Isn't it true that Roger Hillygus made a phone call to Commander Miller to request a sit-down meeting to bring forth the allegations of abuse and neglect at the Stone Valley Assisted Care Facility against his mother, Susan Hillygus, and that he was wishing to remove her from that facility for safety and health concerns? Isn't that true?
It's true.
Did Commander Miller meet with Roger Hillygus to the best of your knowledge?
Did not.
Do you know why?
I do not.
Do you know who did meet with Mr. Hillygus?
I do.
Is it true that it was Sergeant Rob Hannafan from the Reno Police Department?
Correct.
Isn't it true there was a third person involved in this process, a man by the name of Tracy Griffith?
There was.
Was he there at the Stone Valley Assisted Care Facility on August 8th, 2019?
He was.
Did the three of you meet outside the facility?
We did.
You've been accused of parking across the street in some sort of subversive and conspiratorial manner. Is it true you parked across the street because you parked in the shade because it was a hot day in the upper 90s that day in Reno, and you were seeking shade instead of standing out in the hot sun?
Correct.
Was there any conspiratorial motives behind you and Tracy Griffith and Roger Hillygus going to the Stone Valley Assisted Care Facility?
There was not.
And that's because you had no jurisdictional authority as a law enforcement officer, therefore you were just there to observe and report, as anybody would do, based on the fact that Roger Hillygus had already told you that his sister, Robin Renwick, had been negatively giving comments to the facility and had taken on a personal vendetta against her own brother. Is that true?
It's true.
Based on that fact, do you believe that you were responding to meet with Mr. Griffith and Mr. Hillygus there to facilitate the kidnapping of Susan Hillygus?
No.
Isn't it true, Mr. Hanty, that you were there just to merely observe and report, and that it was not your legal responsibility to assist anything other than to observe and report the goings-on at the care facility?
Correct.
And that's exactly what you did, isn't it, Mr. Hanty?
It was.
Bearing in mind what you just said, was there allegations that you falsified the visitor sign-in log on August 8th, 2019 to facilitate the kidnapping of Susan Hillygus?
Allegations, yes.
And isn't it true that you signed in truthfully and properly on the sign-in log sheet on August 8th of 2019?
Yes.
And isn't it true that the names you put down on the sign-in sheet were as follows: Stu and Gus to see Susie?
Yes.
Did you know that Gus was a nickname for Roger Hillygus?
Not at that time.
Yet Mr. Hillygus asked you to put that name down, right?
Correct.
Did you feel there was some subversive motives behind that request?
No.
Why is that?
I didn't feel the need there was any subversive motives.
Isn't it true that once the sign-in sheet was completed, you were allowed access back into the secondary area of the facility through a locked door to seek the location of one Susan Hillygus?
It was.
Isn't it true that you instructed Roger to take the paperwork that you knew were shown to be documents with an official Washoe County embossed seal on them, that you did not know to be legal or illegal, present them to the staff of Stone Valley to see if there was any way to extract his mother from the facility so that she could get proper medical treatment?
True.
Did in fact Roger Hillygus present those documents to the staff at Stone Valley Assisted Care Facility?
He did.
Is it a fact that the gentleman he presented the documents to was a small Hispanic gentleman?
Correct.
Did he take Mr. Hillygus down the hall, or did he tell him to leave?
Down the hall.
When Mr. Hillygus returns, isn't it true that on his arm was the loving mother, Susan Hillygus?
It was.
Did you notice them to be in some sort of conversation as they approached you?
It did.
Were they talking freely and conversing freely without any difficulties or objections?
Yes.
Was Miss Hillygus smiling or frowning?
Smiling.
Did she seem happy or sad?
Happy. Elated.
Did you think at any point in time that what you were doing assisting Roger Hillygus was in any way, shape, or form associated with the crime of kidnapping?
It was not.
Stone Valley Care, August 8th, 2019.
Walking her towards the door, but I knew it wasn't Alice, and I was like, hey, that's not Alice. But they were already out the door.
Okay. So he came in, asked to see another resident.
Robin Renwick's handwritten TPO notice. Hey, I didn't realize handwritten flyers and printed Facebook photos were considered legal documents. It says, Roger and Debbie Hillygus, if you see these people, please supervise and inform management. He cannot take Sue out of the facility. Link from the printout of the photo showing it came from Facebook.
Did you sign her out? This was the only thing I could find. Anything, it goes through and talks about what he said about care and...
Went southbound Sucho from Cardinal.
Okay, so I'm just looking, let's see, as of January 10th of 2018, not yet. First of all, we need to figure out what's going on, and then we will. No, I do not need to talk to him, because there's nothing he's going to say or do to change what I'm doing right here. I have not been over there, so I don't think he would. In fact, the sergeant that I talked to said he did not have any paperwork with him when he came in. Okay, hey. First of all, I know how to do my job. I've been doing it for a while. I don't need you to tell me how to do it. We will look for your mom. First of all, we're trying to determine if there's even a crime that's committed or if it's a civil issue between you and your brother. So I will trying to read the court order that is in front of me in her file, but I keep getting interrupted by you. So if you could just wait and let me... So did Roger sign in at all?
He signed in for someone else.
So he didn't sign his name, he signed somebody else's name?
He asked for Alice Barrett.
Okay, but did he sign in here in any way or form?
No, he didn't put his name at all.
Or somebody else's name?
He's the last name on there, and it's blank.
Tom, they're nominating you as the person to write the statement out.
Absolutely. I was elected?
You were elected. All told, pretty much. So, with Susan's meds, is there anything on this list that, if not taken as prescribed, is life-threatening?
Just Ativan, and Risperdal.
Can risperidol cause death in the elderly? Risperidol has been shown to increase the risk of death in elderly patients with dementia. More elderly dementia patients have died from pneumonia, cardiac failure, and stroke, while risperidol and the increased risk were not related to the dose amount or how long the medication had been taken. Though the exact cause is unknown, patients with dementia may be more at risk as they are unable to report severe symptoms. Because of the number of deaths, the FDA required that a black box warning be added to prescribing information for risperidol. A black box warning is the most severe warning that can be issued by the FDA and requires that information is printed at the top of prescribing information surrounded by a thick black border. According to the Mayo Clinic, risperidone is used to treat schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, or irritability associated with autistic disorder. It specifically says, this medicine should not be used to treat behavioral problems in older adults who have dementia. It's also known as risperidol.
And this one for the anxiety.
Well, nobody's ever died from anxiety that I know of, but
No,
as far as any...
so. No, yeah, that's also. It is. Yeah, this is the opposite vitamin D. I don't think so.
Yeah, that's what I didn't think so. I just wanted to double check with you.
No.
Okay.
These are for anxiety.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
I need you to call down there. 925,000. I'll try to get back through to his medical assistant.
Let's see what location this phone number Tom mentions in the body cam footage yields from Google Maps. We can reasonably assume the area code for this number is 775, because we know the location of Stone Valley Memory Care is 6155 Stone Valley Drive, Reno, Nevada, 89523. We also know that the 775 area code covers many parts of northern Nevada. When we look up the phone number 775-982-5000 on Google, the result comes back for Renown Medical Group, Vista. Note the address here. Based on the locations page on renown.org, we can clearly see the 775-982-5000 phone number is associated with multiple Renown Medical Group locations, including Center for Advanced Medicine, C, at Regional Medical Center, located at 75 Pringle Way, Reno, Nevada, 89502, as well as Renown Medical Group, Vista, located at 910 Vista Boulevard, Sparks, Nevada, 89434. Also take note of the address here. Renown Neurology, 75 Pringle Way, Suite 401, Reno, Nevada, 89502. It should be noted that Renown Medical has been rife with corruption during the time frame that Susan was in Stone Valley Memory Care. Here is an excerpt of an article by This Is Reno confirming this. Multiple sources confirmed with This Is Reno there are numerous allegations facing Renown and the hospital's now former CEO, Tony Slonim. Slonim was fired for cause yesterday as part of an investigation. Allegations ranged from sexual harassment, unethical behavior by top executives, financial mismanagement, and an organizational culture rife with dysfunction and employee mistreatment. The investigation has not concluded, two sources said. Allegations against Slonim were provided to be factual from a multitude of sources, a current employee told This Is Reno. Financial losses from executive overhead and financial folly. Most of Renown's senior executives make more than $500,000 a year. Slonim, according to public filings, made $1.7 million in 2020. Renown is a nonprofit hospital, which under Affordable Care Act rules must serve the public interest and provide broad community benefit.
I need a prescription of lorazepam for that resident.
Lorazepam. Important warning. Lorazepam may increase the risk of serious or life-threatening breathing problems, sedation, or coma if used along with certain medications. Tell your doctor if you are taking or plan to take certain medications for cough or for pain that contain opiates. Example: codeine, hydrocodone, morphine, oxycodone, tramadol. Your doctor may need to change the dosages of your medications and will monitor you carefully. If you take lorazepam with any of these medications and you develop any of the following symptoms, call your doctor immediately or seek emergency medical care immediately. Unusual dizziness, lightheadedness, extreme sleepiness, slowed or difficult breathing, or unresponsiveness. Be sure that your caregiver or family members know which symptoms may be serious so they can call the doctor or emergency medical care if you are unable to seek treatment on your own.
That was at first I thought that he would do that because that's what he's done in the past.
Have them fax us a script for her so that we can get her some medication so she calms down.
He is married?
He is.
He's aggressive. Do you know that the sheriffs had to remove him with the SWAT team from this house?
From your mom's house?
And the sheriffs wouldn't do it without a court order because he threatened that he had guns. And he does have guns. So they go out to Dayton. They need to be aware what they could possibly be walking into.
And we'll let them know.
You know, what's going to happen to my mom after?
Well, she's not on her meds. She's not going to have her meds. She's not going to get changed. I mean, there's just a crazy step couple. Just a copy of my shit. She's
barely walk.
So he was dragging her. Literally dragging her.
I'm surprised he didn't pick her up.
Pulling her. Yeah, I'm shocked.
Okay, but do you understand that my mom's life is in danger right now? In danger?
How?
How?
She's with your brother.
Have you heard all the stories that we've been going through?
I understand he has. He may have some
medications. So you
Okay.
believe that she's not a hazard?
None of your mother's. No, she doesn't. All of her. No, she doesn't. Because I just talked to the med tech because I got a list of her meds, and I confirmed with the med tech because all of her meds are primarily for anxiety, mental health. It's not for. There's nothing physical that if your mom does not take medications, she's going to die from. And I confirmed that with the med tech.
He doesn't know what he's dealing with. He hasn't been here in a year, and she's declined a lot in a year. She used to be able to walk really well. She looked good. You didn't know anything was really wrong. But in the last year, she shuffles. She can't walk.
They've had her in a wheelchair lately.
MAR, Medical Administration Record for Susan Hillygus, dated August 8, 2019. According to Susan Hillygus' medical administration record, her diagnosis is listed as dementia. It should be noted that according to the MAR report, Susan Hillygus was originally prescribed risperidone 0.5 milligram tablets on December 20th, 2018 at 7 o'clock a.m. Furthermore, the MAR report indicates that Susan Hillygus was originally prescribed lorazepam 0.5 milligram tablets on April 23, 2019 at 3 p.m. Based on Robin Renwick's own statement from the Stone Valley body cam footage we just saw, she clearly states,
He doesn't know what he's dealing with. He hasn't been here in a year, and she's declined a lot in a year. She used to be able to walk really well. She looked good. You didn't know anything was really wrong. But in the last year, she shuffles. She can't walk.
Based on this information, that would make Robin Renwick the responsible party for both of the medications lorazepam and risperidone being added to Susan Hillygus' regimen of daily medications. This is consistent with Roger's claim that Robin was over-medicating her mother with medications that had a black box warning. Nevada Silver Alert Notification / Activation, filed August 9th, 2019 at 4:02 a.m. Silver Alert Criteria. All of the following statutory criteria must be met before the Nevada DPS will activate a Silver Alert. The missing endangered person is 60 years of age or older. The whereabouts of the missing endangered older person are unknown. The missing endangered older person has either A. been diagnosed with a medical or mental health condition that places the person in danger of serious physical harm or death, or B. is missing under suspicious or unexplained circumstances that place the person in danger of serious physical harm or death, and there is sufficient descriptive information about the missing endangered older person or other pertinent information to warrant activation of the system. According to the Nevada Department of Public Safety Nevada Silver Alert Notification Activation Form, under the Diagnosed Medical Condition box, it states, dementia, medication required. does not have medication with her, unable to feed and care for herself without assistance. Under the brief circumstances regarding the missing endangered older person box, it states, Susan Hillygus was taken from care facility without legal guardian approval by son Roger Hillygus, driving 1994 white Honda Accord, Nevada plates 885YKR, possibly en route to Truckee, California. The Silver Alert form was filled out and approved by Sergeant Clark, badge number 9727, on August 9th, 2019 at 3:40 a.m. Based on the evidence we just went over in the Stone Valley body cam footage, as well as some self-evident statements from page 2 of the Silver Alert activation form, we can reasonably establish that only 2 of the 4 criteria were met. According to CAD report 19H295690, we can clearly see and establish that the Silver Alert was activated at 4:52 and 47 seconds a.m. on August 9th, 2019. Subsequently, on page 2 of this report, we can clearly see that the Silver Alert was canceled 48 hours later, at 5:35 and 37 seconds a.m. on August 11th, 2019. Conversely, the Silver Alert PS CAD report 19H295791 reflects this, as we can see on page 2 of this report. It states that at 4:52 and 32 seconds a.m. on August 9th, 2019, NPHN update sent to NVDOTPD successfully. This would indicate that this is the time code when the last update was sent through the system before the Silver Alert was officially activated. Furthermore, we can see on page 8 of this report that at 5 o'clock and 10 seconds a.m. on August 11th, 2019, the Silver Alert was deactivated due to 48-hour expiration with no new information. This begs the question, why was the Silver Alert not extended by Reno PD? Is it reasonable that we can determine from this that one possible motive for not extending the Silver Alert would be the realization that in actuality only 2 of the 4 criteria were met for activating a Silver Alert ex post facto? Based on everything we have seen thus far in this case, I would say yes, it is reasonable. Detective Michael Barnes' interview with Tom Taylor and Tim Grafton at Stone Valley Memory Care. Bodycam audio recorded on August 9th, 2019.
He blew through here, talked to one of our caregivers, put down a fictitious name of another resident.
Yeah. But he came with a friend, and the friend signed in.
Oh, he did?
Of another name of a resident, which he knew the name of. And so
can you show me the sign-in of?
But he just
and I
signed
think
the
the police officer
resident's
took a
name.
picture of it.
Oh, he did? Okay. Yeah, I'll take one also.
It was actually right here.
Yeah,
this one right
second
here.
one right here.
Okay.
Which, that's the name of our resident.
And he didn't put his name at all?
No. And so I think he gathered it from this same one up here. But that's,
he just wrote it down there.
Just wrote it in there.
Okay, it almost looks like the same handwriting.
I know.
Note the date says August 8th, 2019. Note that written here it says Stu and Gus. Gus is a nickname Roger has been known by for years. Hillygus. Note Susie's name written in the box to the left of where it says Stu and Gus. Note the time written in the time in box. It says 2 o'clock p.m. Note the date says August 8th, 2019. Note in the visitor name box it says Tracy Griffith. Note that written here it says Alice in the resident box. Note the time written in the time in box. It says 2:15 p.m. Clearly this is the sign-in entry for Tracy Griffith, the friend Tom and Tim mentioned. It should be noted that when Stu signed in for himself and Roger, aka Gus, he mistakenly put his and Roger's name in the resident box and the name of Susie in the visitor's box. This may have contributed to the confusion surrounding the initial statements by Tom Taylor, Tim Grafton, and other staff that Roger had not signed in. However, the fact remains, we can clearly show from the evidence that Stu and Roger, aka Gus, did in fact sign in to see Susie at 2 o'clock p.m. on the date of August 8th, 2019. Furthermore, we can clearly show from the evidence that Tracy Griffith accompanied them and signed in to see Alice at 2:15 p.m. on the date of August 8th, 2019.
Okay. So when they were in the back, he goes, "We're here to see Alice." So they started taking him to Alice's room.
Yeah.
And then they shot off to Susan's room.
And then he came through here and went across.
Yeah, and they just blew through here. And then I was talking to a vendor right here. And I was watching over her shoulder, and it's like, well, why didn't they park in the parking lot? And they took her across the street, down below those buildings, is where they parked.
Let's compare the vendor, Lisa Marie Campbell's interview by Detective Barnes from August 14th, 2019.
So I was talking to Tom like this, and I saw people moving, and I glanced over, and I noticed it was Sue. I put my hand on her shoulder, because by this time they're going towards the door, and I said, "Hi, Sue, where are you going?"
Yeah.
You know, and she just kind of smiled, and I made eye contact and everything with her, and then I seen Roger grab her wrist and continue her out the door, walking, you know, hand in hand. And I turned and looked at Tom and said, "That's Sue Hillygus. Where's she going?"
Yeah, yeah.
And that's when he said, "Well, she's going to lunch with her son."
Important points to note regarding the testimony of Tom Taylor and the testimony of Lisa Marie Campbell from what we just heard. 1. Why does Tom Taylor's statement that Roger was pulling or dragging Sue contradict Lisa Marie Campbell, the vendor's statement that she was walking with Roger hand in hand? 2. Why did Tom Taylor omit the part about telling Lisa Marie Campbell, the vendor, that Sue was going to lunch with her son?
And they were like, literally.
Could you see their vehicle from here?
Could not.
So, in relation to this building right here, where it says 6159, it looks like?
Yeah, it was in the back of the...
Oh, so they parked in the back.
So they pulled her across the street, literally pulled her, because she can barely walk.
Yeah.
She's, I mean, mentally deficient.
Yeah.
Pulled her into the back, and then, but the marker that, or the vendor that was here actually saw that it was neither an older Jeep or like an Isuzu type of vehicle, but it was an SUV.
Older?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did they say it pulled back out on the Stone
She
Valley?
did not say, and she actually knows the daughter of Susan, who was taken, and so she called and said, I saw the vehicle, and...
Okay. All right.
Interesting. So you passed the paperwork, and it says, checked on the name card, because they have the phone number on the top of that.
Yeah.
And it pulled up to that clothing store in Truckee.
Cabona's in Truckee. That's where the fax number came from.
Okay. All right.
So her house...
Do you have a copy of that paper?
Again, let's compare the vendor, Lisa Marie Campbell's interview by Detective Barnes from August 14th, 2019, with what we just heard Tom Taylor say.
So I went to get my car because I did want to know where she was going to. And I was parked, unfortunately, at the far end of the parking lot with an SUV here where I really lost sight for a minute.
Yeah.
So I did not see them get in the car, but I saw them when they had already gotten to the other side and into that shopping center.
Okay.
Then at that point, while I was getting in my car, I lost vision for a while, pulled out to where I could see, and the car door had shut on the dark SUV kind of vehicle.
Yeah.
And it pulled out and went left towards Rob Road.
Rob Drive, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So unfortunately, that's all I saw. I wish I could say I saw them put her in the car, but I lost sight of that part.
Here we can see the layout of the area around Stone Valley Memory Care and the shopping center across the street where Liberty Dialysis is located. Based on the available evidence and witness testimony of Lisa Marie Campbell, we can reasonably establish that the route shown in light blue with the arrows is the most likely route that the dark SUV Jeep type vehicle took.
So she didn't appear facially in any grief.
Okay. Just kind of indifferent, going for a ride type thing.
But she was definitely walking a lot faster than she probably should have been, but she's very agile.
Let's take a look at what the definition of agile is from several different sources. Agile. Definition of agile, as in graceful. Moving easily. The expressive movements of agile dancers. Agile herons wading in the marsh. And that's according to Merriam-Webster.com. Agile. Adjective.
Agile.
Agile.
Able to move quickly and easily. Synonym, nimble, a strong and agile athlete. And that's according to OxfordLearnersDictionaries.com. Agile, adjective.
Agile. Agile.
Agile, adjective, physically. Able to move your body quickly and easily. Monkeys are very agile climbers. You need to have agile fingers to do this kind of work. Agile.
Agile.
Adjective. Quick and well coordinated in movement. Live. An agile leap. 2. Active, lively, an agile person. And that's according to dictionary.com.
Well, and then there's a court date this morning for the sale of the house, which he's been completely against. So we're just hoping he shows up there to try to show his paperwork.
Yeah.
To stop
That's
the
at
sale.
down at the courthouse.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
The family knows when they go through security to get the case number, all of this, just to keep an eye out for him. when he shows up.
Yeah, definitely. All right, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the strangest thing, but they kind of knew what they were doing. But apparently, according to the sister, he hadn't been here in a year. He hadn't. But he goes through this weird legal, We Are America or something in Phoenix that says he has all the right paperwork, but it's not.
No, it's...
And
I don't know if you're familiar with sovereign citizens.
Oh,
so they're
yeah,
people that
yeah.
believe that they have rights outside of
I've been seeing some of that on YouTube.
normal society and stuff. Yeah, so pretty sure that's what he's claiming. So.
One thing that is important to point out in relation to Detective Barnes' statement is what attorney David Spitzer says in the House sale hearing later that day on August 9th, 2019.
Your Honor, this has been a long, tortured road. I understand that. The amounts are high, but in light of the nature of the work required, I don't have an objection.
Yeah, I note that fiduciary services fees includes invoices for almost $2,000 of fees just to deal with Mr. Roger Hillygus, for example.
And I would suggest, Your Honor, that ultimately the guardian of the estate might attempt to recapture those.
I agree. Let me take an aside in this way. I'm deeply concerned about Miss Hillygus and her welfare. I dare say I couldn't overstate your concern. It's apparent that Mr. Hillygus has some active mental health issues going on. The filings I'm receiving now are so far removed from reality as to be almost unintelligible, but cause me concern as to his stability. What I mean by that is I intend, if the law would allow me, to retax that 1947 to Mr. Hillygus, but I don't want to push him or anyone else even farther into delusion or psychosis or whatever else may be going on, and so I just intend to be thoughtful about it. Is my only comment.
Your Honor, in my involvement in this case and long observation of Mr. Roger Hillygus, I'm not prepared to reach the same conclusion you are regarding his mental state. He is quite a calculating man. He has adopted the constitutionalist type of attitude that those who've practiced in criminal law have seen over the years in people that are perfectly capable in every other way. In regards to those, Your Honor, I think a cause of action to recoup them by the guardian at some later date might be the most appropriate way to do it. Again, anything we do here is going to be subject to some kind of appeal.
Of course.
Bellflower, California, August 16th, 2019.
Is in custody this morning after an hours-long standoff in Bellflower that ended at 2 a.m.
So he's accused of kidnapping his own mom from a care facility. CBS 2's Cara Finstrom joining us from the complex where it all happened. And Cara, you spoke exclusively with the woman whose apartment they were holed up in.
Yeah, she's the apartment manager here. She knows him personally. She knows his mother. But like everyone else, she is waiting to learn what's next for both of them.
It's upsetting for me being the manager here. It's 55 units and people want to know what happened. What did he do? What's he running from?
Wilma Dester oversees the Bellflower complex where the SWAT standoff took place. She also lives in apartment Q, where sheriff officials say 52-year-old Roger Hillygus, who's suspected of kidnapping his 80-year-old mother from a Reno care facility, was holed up.
At what point did you realize that he was actually, police were looking for him?
When they rammed on my door.
Dester says Hillygus' mother is her boyfriend's only sister, and he showed up about a week ago asking to stay with them.
He takes good care of his mother, though. He feeds her, he diapers her, bathes her. No, absolutely no mistreating that we could see while they were here.
Dester says she and her boyfriend were in the front room when officers rushed in and were escorted out. Hillygus was in the back with his mother, and she doesn't know exactly what happened next. SWAT officers quickly surrounded the complex. Their night vision images show the force that was in place for hours. Dester says she doesn't have a gun in her apartment and did not think Hillygus brought one. Reno police have been looking for him and his mother since last week. They say he and the former sheriff of Mineral County, Nevada, who's been arrested, went into her care facility, provided false information, checked her out, and called saying she would not be brought back.
I think that was the main thing. He wanted to get his mother and take care of her. But then there's a sister up in Reno that resents this. And what is over, I don't know.
Ultimately, authorities say Hillygus fell asleep and they went in, taking him into custody safely. His mother, who needs to have daily medication, is now being checked out. Dester feels frustration. All this unfolded in her apartment. But more than anything else, she says she just feels sad.
She's very sweet, so she really don't know, what's happening.
And Hillygus was arrested this morning. The sheriff's department has confirmed on an outstanding warrant, which appears to be from Reno. Jasmine DeMarco, at this point, we don't know what possible charges he could face. And at this point, apparently they are still checking out the mom. She has not been taken back quite yet.
Jenkins' interrogation of Roger on the Idaho properties on the 6-hour drive back to Reno, Nevada from Los Angeles, California, August 20th, 2019.
So what was Robin's issue with you caring for your mom and dad? Like, what's it to her?
I don't know. I wish I knew. My mother said that she was jealous, and that she was retaliating against me, and that she was trying to cover up some of the things that she had done criminally against my parents.
What had she done criminally against your mom and dad?
She exploited and embezzled trust funds.
Is that documented anywhere?
It is.
So how did she do it? So she's not the trustee, or the successor rather, of the trust. How does she embezzle money? Like, how does she access it? How does she...
Yes. You have to, somebody in a position of power and authority that influences somebody, that's called undue influence.
Okay.
And she took my parents to Idaho. She used
to live there?
She used trust money. And she used trust money to purchase properties. And then she got my father not to pay on the mortgages, and she rented the properties out and collected the rental income off the properties. This is all documented by my dad's tax person and the realtor up in Idaho and the bank records that I have and everything else.
So, what year is this? When she takes both your parents to Idaho? Are you already living with your mom and dad at this point? No, before that, obviously.
This was after my grandparents both passed away, my mom's parents.
Okay.
And my mom and her brother. My mother was the trustee of her parents, and she was young, 5 years younger.
Okay, so it does not always go to the firstborn. Okay.
No, parents choose the person that they know
that they
will
think.
Do what they've asked them to do.
Okay.
And they, like I said, they could have put us both in there, and they didn't do that. The only explanation I have is they knew that I would do what they asked me to do.
Okay. So before you and Debbie move into care for them, she takes them to Idaho?
Yeah, but it was back in.
Was she already a realtor?
Yeah.
Okay. So is it, why? I mean, why do they agree to go? Are they looking for investment properties or?
That's where the undue influence comes in, because she solicited them. So if somebody in a position of power comes and solicits you to do something, you go along with it for their benefit. That's undue influence. That's a crime.
Okay, so do they, either one of them have dementia yet?
Yeah.
Wow. So they go to Idaho and how many properties do they purchase?
They purchase properties in Boise and in McCall.
And these are your parents making these purchases?
With the trust assets.
With the trust assets, okay.
But it was never put in the trust name. There was no contract. There was no written contract about what's the purpose, or what are we trying to accomplish, what are we trying to achieve.
And what were your parents thinking this was for? What were they trying to achieve with these properties? Did they intend to rent them out, or did they intend to move to Boise or McCall?
No.
Had your parents ever had other properties before?
Not at an age where they should. If any other person would have done what Robin had done, they would have been charged, arrested.
Did you ever file police reports about the?
I have.
Which agencies did you file with?
The DOJ.
Okay. So, did you ask Robin, like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you? And how did you find out about the properties? Did your parents tell you, oh, hey, we've made these purchases and?
I found out because she tried to get me to go buy properties, and I said,
oh, she wanted you to buy them too?
Absolutely not. And I recommended that she don't go up to do that, and not to take her parents up there and do that, because they're not at an age where they should be managing property. They've never done this kind of thing.
Is this during the recession and the market crash? Is that what she's thinking, that now's a good time to snatch up all these properties and someday they'll be worth more?
No, it was at the peak of the market.
In theory, a terrible time to buy, right?
Yes. And I'm pretty savvy with investments.
Because you own a couple properties. Yeah.
What good investments?
Were your parents optimistic about these investments?
They were solicited, manipulated, unduly influenced. They were hoodwinked. This should have never happened.
How many did they buy?
One in McCall and somewhere between 3 and 5 in Boise.
That is a ton of property. So where do they get the money to make all these purchases? And are
my grandparents? I just
okay?
My
mom was the
trustee. They sold my grandparents' house down in Southern California at the peak of the market for $600,000, and they had oil stock investments.
Okay.
That they'd had for 50 years or more, and so they had a lot of Chevron oil stock.
Okay. So they got quite a bit of money from that then, and so where are those properties now? What's the status of them?
They're all gone.
Did your parents sell them?
She was collecting the rent, and she dumped when she realized that it was part of why she got her divorce, because her husband was not happy with getting stuck with the taxes because they were collecting all the rents on these properties.
So Robin actually puts renters in your mom and dad's properties, and she's collecting the rent money from those properties. Is she giving that rent money back to your mom and dad? But your mom and dad are paying the mortgages on these properties.
No, she told me to quit paying the mortgages. And so it ruined my father's credit. She short sold them, she foreclosed on them, she did whatever, and then she rented one out for years, and then when she knew that what she was doing was illegal, she dumped it on my father. didn't know what to do. So after he just bought it some years earlier for $250,000, he now sold it for $125,000 after she collected the rent on it for all those years. And
So he loses a ton of money in this.
And he was one to always pay his bills. He didn't understand that he could have just walked away from that property just like he walked away from the other ones years earlier. But this was later in the progression of his disease. And she needed to get out because of her divorce. And so she needed to get her name off the property, so she just dumped it in my father's lap. He couldn't pay the bills, he couldn't manage it. This was before I was able to get more hands-on. I mean, I realized a lot of this after the fact, after I started looking at records and finding mail and documents, and trying to put the pieces together. So this is what's been discovered over time.
Wow. Have you ever talked to Robin about that and said what?
Yeah, she not really directly, but she claims that it was all on the up and up, and I'm like, can't be. Why would we do that? That's illegal.
Wow. Did your dad have good credit before that?
Yeah.
And the short sale will absolutely mess your credit up. Which has got to be, I think that's got to be hard for somebody who takes pride in their credit, has always had good credit, is used to paying. Because, you know, short sales that was a thing of this recession. And
you know how we paid it off?
How?
We refinanced the family home in Golden Valley.
Had that family home already been paid
Yes.
off? So
That's
he takes out a second mortgage
on the home that he was living in.
to pay off
a place up in McCall that they went up like once a summer for a couple, 2 or 3 summers.
Wow. So how big was the second mortgage?
$150,000.
That's a decent size. Wow. So then you figure a lot of this out after the fact. Then when you move in with your mom and dad and start caring for them, were they pretty upset about how that whole thing had gone?
My father was so upset that he started gambling.
Grant, bargain, sale, deed, and order confirming sale of real property, 2685 Nob Hill Drive, Reno, Nevada, 89506. Dates filed, September 26, 2019 and August 22, 2019. DOC number 4955869. Dated September 26, 2019 at 3:52 and 2 seconds p.m. Grant, bargain, sale, deed. This indenture witnesseth that Deborah Bowers of Lund Enterprises, LLC, DBA, doing business as Fiduciary Services of Nevada, successor trustee of the Hillygus Family Trust, dated August 17, 1993, for a valuable consideration, receipt of which is hereby acknowledged, does hereby grant, bargain, sell, and convey to Richard E. Williams and Gail L. Williams, husband and wife, as joint tenants. All that real property situated in the county of Washoe, state of Nevada, described as follows. See Exhibit A, attached hereto and by reference made a part hereof. Together with all and singular tenements, hereditaments, and appurtenances thereunto belonging or in any wise appertaining. Signature and notary acknowledgement on page 2. The Hillygus Family Trust, dated August 17, 1993, signed Deborah S. Bowers, TTEE, by Lund Enterprises, LLC, DBA, doing business as Fiduciary Services of Nevada. Successor trustee by Deborah Bowers, authorized signer. State of Nevada, county of, and it has Washoe crossed out and scribbled in handwritten pen, Carson City. This instrument was acknowledged before me on September 24th, 2019, by Deborah Bowers. Notary Public, signed Donna Peacock. This notary acknowledgement is attached to that certain grant bargain sale deed under escrow number 019027771. In the matter of the Hillygus Family Trust, dated August 17, 1993, case number PR 14-00025, Department Number 7. Order confirming sale of real property. Filed electronically, case number PR 14-00025, on August 22, 2019, at 1:08:35 p.m. Jacqueline Bryant, Clerk of the Court, transaction number 7444867. This matter came before this court as a result of the petition for confirmation of sale of real property, petition for confirmation filed by Lund Enterprises, LLC, doing business as Fiduciary Services of Nevada, trustee by Deborah S. Bowers, trustee, trust officer and trustee of the Hillygus Family Trust, dated August 17, 1993. Trust. The petition for confirmation was properly noticed pursuant to NRS 164.030 and NRS 155.010. The court is satisfied with the notice and finds that the petition should be granted. Accordingly, good cause exists, and this court finds and orders: 1. The real property with a situs address of 2685 Nob Hill Drive, Reno, Nevada 89506, known as the Nob Hill Residence, is a trust asset. The trustee of trust is granted broad discretionary power. 2. Pursuant to the terms of the trust, notice of sale of the real property by publication in a newspaper is waived, as the trust property may be sold for cash or on credit at public or private sale. Lawful and proper notice was provided pursuant to NRS 164.030, with the service performed in the manner provided in NRS 155.010. 3. The appraised value of the trust real property, the Nob Hill residence, is $400,000. 4. The residential offer and acceptance agreement lists the sale/purchase price as $415,000. The sale/purchase price exceeds the appraised value, and therefore it is in the best interests of the primary trust beneficiary, Susan L. Hillygus, to complete the sale. 5. The court hereby confirms the sale of the real property pursuant to the residential offer and acceptance agreement in the amount of $415,000. 6. Pursuant to the order after February 23, 2017 hearing, filed August 14, 2017, and the order of reconveyance and lien grant filed September 6, 2017, the following shall occur through escrow, and TCOR title is ordered to: A. Issue a check in the amount of $22,500 to Gunderson Law Firm and Debbie Hillygus. B. Issue a check in the amount of $22,500 to Deborah S. Bowers, trustee of the Hillygus Family Trust, dated August 17, 1993. The trustee shall follow the court's previous orders and established a blocked interest-bearing account. C. Upon the issuance of the checks totaling $45,000 as specified in items A and B above, those payments will reflect payment in full satisfaction and release of the lien recorded as document number 487-0175, recorded on November 30th, 2018. 7. The sale of the Nob Hill property with a legal description of Lot 47, as shown on the map of Medallion Estates No. 2, filed in the office of the County Recorder of Washoe County, State of Nevada, on February 6, 1969. APN 552-171-04, is hereby confirmed to Richard E. Williams and Gail L. Williams pursuant to the residential offer and acceptance agreement. 8. Brokerage fees shall be paid pursuant to the residential offer and acceptance agreement. 9. Finally, the court finds that as a matter of fact and as a matter of law, the buyers, Richard E. Williams and Gail L. Williams, are good faith purchasers of real property, and upon closing of the transaction are entitled to take title to the Nob Hill property in fee simple, with no encumbrances other than those contemplated in the residential offer and acceptance agreement. Accordingly, any objection to the sale shall be directed to the trustee holding the net proceeds in the trust and not the buyers. It is so ordered. This is a final order, dated August 22nd, 2019. Signed by District Judge, and I can't make out the signature. Washoe County Recorder, Legibility note. The Washoe County Recorder's Office has determined that the attached document may not be suitable for recording by the method used by the recorder to preserve the recorder's records. The customer was advised that copies reproduced from the recorded document would not be legible. However, the customer demanded that the document be recorded without delay, as the party's rights may be adversely affected because of a delay in recording. Therefore, pursuant to NRS 247.120.3, the county recorder accepted the document conditionally based on the undersigned's representation. 1. That a suitable copy will be submitted at a later date. 2. It is impossible or impractical to submit a more suitable copy. By my citing below, I acknowledge that I have been advised that once the document has been microfilmed, it may not produce a legible copy. Susan Lynn Hillygus, Certificate of Death. Date October 16th, 2019. Washoe County Health District. Vital Statistics, Reno, Nevada. Certificate of Death. Deceased name, Susan Lynn Hillygus. Location of death, the seasons. Date of death, October 16th, 2019. Time of death, listed as 2:12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Multiple different possible causes of death. A. Cardiac arrest. B. Atrial fibrillation. C. Sick sinus syndrome. And D. Atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. No autopsy was performed. Case not referred to coroner. Department of Health and Human Services, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, Statement of Deficiencies and Plan of Correction. Date of report, October 16th, 2019. Department of Health and Human Services, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, Nasira Notes Report on the seasons. The facility Susan Hillygus was listed at during the time of her death on her death certificate. Initial comments. Inspector comments. This statement of deficiencies was generated as a result of state licensure annual survey and complaint investigation survey completed on October 16, 2019. In accordance with Nevada Administrative Code NAC Chapter 449, Residential Facility for Groups. The facility is licensed for 120 total residential facility for group beds, with 90 beds for elderly and disabled persons, and or provides assisted living services, and 30 beds which provides care to persons with Alzheimer's disease. Category 2 residents. The census at the time of the survey was 112. 25 resident files were reviewed and 12 employee files were reviewed. The facility received a grade of A. There was one complaint investigated. Complaint number NV000588914, with the following allegations could not be substantiated. Allegation 1. The resident left the grounds and was unaccounted for an unknown amount of time. Allegation 2. The resident fell outside, injured themselves, and was found by staff. The investigation into the allegations included observation of facility staff residents, the resident of concern, a tour of the facility's memory care unit, and checked the door alarms. Interviews were conducted with a caregiver, the business office manager, the health and wellness manager, the administrator, and the resident of concern. Reviewed facility staffing schedules, employee files, and resident files. The findings and conclusions of any investigation by the Division of Public and Behavioral Health shall not be construed as prohibiting any criminal or civil investigations. Any actions or other claims for relief that may be available to any party under applicable federal, state, or local laws. The following deficiencies were identified. Medication, over-the-counter supplements. Supplements, change order. NAC 449.2742. Administration of medication. Responsibilities of administrator, caregiver, and employees of facility. 5. An over-the-counter medication or dietary supplement may be given to a resident only if the resident's physician has approved the administration of the medication or supplement in writing, or the facility is ordered to do so by another physician. The over-the-counter medication or dietary supplement must be administered in accordance with the written instructions of the physician. The administration of over-the-counter medications and dietary supplements must be included in the record required pursuant to paragraph B of subsection 1 of NAC 449.2744. 6. Except as otherwise provided in this subsection, a medication prescribed by a physician must be administered as prescribed by the physician. If a physician orders a change in the amount of times medication is to be administered to a resident, the caregiver responsible for assisting in the administration of medication shall 1. Comply with the order. 2. Indicate on the container of the medication that a change has occurred, and previously Y08793 3. Note the change in the record maintained pursuant to paragraph B of subsection 1 of NAC 449.2744. B. Within 5 days after the change is ordered, a copy of the order or prescription signed by the physician must be included in the record maintained pursuant to paragraph B of subsection 1 of NAC 449.2744. And C. If the label prepared by a pharmacist does not match the order or prescription written by a physician, the physician, registered nurse, or pharmacist must interpret that order or prescription, and within 5 days after the change is ordered, the interpretation must be included in the record maintained pursuant to paragraph B of subsection 1 of NAC 449.2744. Inspector comments. Based on record review and interview, the facility failed to ensure medication containers indicated a change in medication, and a physician was notified of missed medications for 2 of 25 sampled residents, residents number 17 and number 12. Findings include resident number 17 was admitted to the facility on July 12, 2019 with diagnosis including acute hypoxic respiratory failure and congestive heart failure. Resident number 17's October 2019 medication administration record, MAR, and physician's order dated October 3, 2019 documented tamsulosin 0.4 milligrams. Take 1 capsule by mouth daily. However, the medication on site documented tamsulosin 0.4 milligrams. Take 1 capsule by mouth twice daily. The medication on the site lacked documented evidence of a change order label. On October 16, 2019 at 2:34 p.m., the medication technician verbalized the medication label on the tamsulosin did not document the correct dosage, and the medication should have had a change order label. Resident number 17's October 2019 MAR and physician's order dated October 3, 2019 documented benzoate 100 milligrams, take 1 capsule by mouth 3 times daily as needed for cough. However, the medication on site documented benzoate 100 milligrams, take 1 capsule by mouth 3 times daily for 7 days. The medication on site lacked documented evidence of a change order label. On October 16, 2019 at 2:43 p.m., the MT verbalized the medication label on the benzoate and did not document the correct dosage, and the medication should have had a change order label. Severity 2, Scope 1. Administration of medication maintenance, NAC 449.2744. Administration of medication. Maintenance and contents of logs and records. NRS 449.03021. The administrator of a residential facility that provides assistance to residents in the administration of medications shall maintain B. A record of the medication administered to each resident. The record must include 1. The type of medication administered. 2. The date and time that the medication was administered. 3. The date and time that a resident refuses or otherwise misses an administration of medication. And 4. Instructions for administering the medication to the resident that reflect each current order or prescription of the resident's physician. Inspector comments. Based on interview and record review, the facility failed to ensure the medication administration record, MAR, was accurate for 3 of 25 sampled residents. Resident number 17, number 2, and number 6. Findings include resident number 17. Resident number 17 was admitted to the facility on July 12, 2019 with diagnosis of acute hypoxic respiratory failure and congestive heart failure. A physician's order dated October 3, 2019 documented morphine 20 milligrams per 1 milliliter, take 0.25 milliliters every 6 hours as needed for pain. The label for the medication on site documented morphine 100 milligrams 5 milliliters, give 0.25 milliliters every 6 hours as needed for pain. Resident number 17's October 2019 MAR documented morphine 20 milligrams 5 milliliters, give 0.25 milliliters every 6 hours as needed for pain. On October 16, 2019 at 2:43 p.m., the medication technician and assistant executive director verbalized the MAR did not match the physician's order or medication label for the morphine, and the medication's concentration was incorrectly transcribed on the MAR. Resident number 2 was admitted on June 2, 2019 with diagnosis including Parkinson's, hypothyroid, and depression. Resident number 2's physician ordered documented Bactrim DS 800 milligrams to 160 milligram tablets. Take 1 tablet by mouth daily following a treatment course. The start date on the physician order was September 17, 2019. However, the resident's MAR noted a start date of October 17, 2019. On October 16, 2019 at 3:08 p.m., the assistant executive director verbalized the MAR did not match the physician's order. Resident number 6 was admitted on June 2, 2019 with diagnosis including GERD, atrial fibrillation, hypertension, and chronic hypokalemia. Resident number 6, physician ordered documented tramadol HCI tablets 50 milligrams. Take 1 tablet by mouth 2 times a day for pain at 800 and 1800. The resident's MAR noted administration times of 800 and 1600. On October 16, 2019 at 3:25 p.m., the assistant executive director verbalized the MAR did not match the physician's order. Severity 2, Scope 1. Vital signs, glucose, training, competency, approved regulation, LCB file number R109-18. 13. 1A. 1. A caregiver of a residential facility may perform a task described in NRS 449.0304 if the caregiver, A, before performing the task, and when any device used for performing the task is changed, 1, has received training concerning the task that meets the requirements of subsections 5 and 6, and 2, has demonstrated an understanding of the manner in which the task must be performed. Inspector comments. Based on the documented review, file review, and interview, the facility failed to ensure staff checking vitals were provided training and demonstrated understanding. Findings include, on October 16, 2019 at 2:30 p.m., the administrator confirmed the health and wellness director took resident vitals, including blood pressure and temperature, when there was a resident incident. The vitals information obtained was forwarded to the ambulance personnel and the resident's physician. The facility lacked a protocol or policy to perform vital signs signed off by a qualified medical professional per NRS 632.017 and NAC 632.232. NRS 632.017. Practice of practical nursing. Defined. Practice of practical nursing means the performance of selected acts in the care of the ill, injured, or infirm under the direction of a registered professional nurse, an advanced practice registered nurse, a licensed physician, a physician assistant licensed pursuant to Chapter 630 or 633 of NRS, a licensed dentist, or a licensed podiatric physician, not requiring the substantial specialized skill, judgment, and knowledge required in professional nursing. Added to NRS by 1987, 1525, A, 1993, 2218, 1999, 1325, 2001, 1, 792, 2007, 1828, 2013, 2071, NAC 632.232. Focused Nursing Assessment, NRS 632.120, a licensed practical nurse shall contribute to the plan of care established for a patient by recording and reporting to the appropriate person his or her observations by conducting a focused nursing assessment. Added to NAC by BD of nursing effective 11/2/1987, A by R029-97, 1-26-98, R091-15, 4-4-2016 on October 16, 2019 at 3:40 p.m. The administrator confirmed the health and wellness director did not have documented competency training by a qualified medical professional to take vitals. Severity 2, Scope 1. Mr. Hanty, you've been privy and witnessed many of the videos that have been put out about this case involving the Hillygus family estate and trust, the arrest of yourself and Mr. Roger Hillygus, and the entire criminal complaints that have been filed against you. You've been privy to a lot of information. Based on everything you've seen up until the current date, which is November 22nd, 2023, a very auspicious date, do you have any doubt in your mind whatsoever that the motivation behind this was greed, power, and the intent to silence those who would be able to expose the greed, power, and criminal aspect? That being Robin Renwick and those involved in that, including law enforcement, the district attorney's office, judicial magistrates, both from the Reno Justice Court and the 2nd Judicial District Court, including attorneys involved, both private attorneys such as Todd Torvinen, Ryan Earl, David Spitzer, and Stephen Moss. With all these people involved, do you have any doubt whatsoever in your mind that this is a criminal conspiracy to obtain financial gains from the sale and profit of the Hillygus family residence at 2685 Nob Hill Drive, and also the liquidation of assets and any other monetary and money involved in the Hillygus family trust for profit and gain by those committing the criminal act? So, Mr. Hanty, you have no doubt this was premeditated acts to take the life of Susan Hillygus.
None.
Do you believe in your heart that she was murdered with premeditation?
Absolutely.
Do you believe that this murder has been covered up by law enforcement, the district attorney's office, and judicial magistrates?
Absolutely.
And why do you believe so, Mr. Hanty?
For the reasons you just stated.
Based on the 30 years and the numerous investigations you've been involved with, including homicides, including murders, including financial crimes, including investigating criminal enterprises such as outlaw motorcycle gangs and others, based on everything you know in your 30 years of being a law enforcement officer here in the state of Nevada, and a career that's included the sheriff of Mineral County, two tribal chiefs of police, deputy sheriffs, and most of your career being a state trooper on Nevada Highway Patrol, do you base that what you just said on all that, plus your education, training, experience, and obtaining a degree from the University of Nevada, Reno, where you majored in criminal justice and had 5 years of college classes to support your forthright career coming up? Is that what you base everything on?
Yes, I base it on those attributes as well as common knowledge and my investigative skills.
No further questions, Mr. Ante. All right, folks, give me 1 second here. Let me reconnect my headset, make sure I can hear everything right. All right, can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry
All
for.
right. Yes. Oh, sorry. No, you're good. Sorry, I had to. My Bluetooth headset died, so I had to disconnect it and then charge it real quick so we can do the call-in line here in a minute. I just had to make sure I reconnected all the audio settings properly. That's all. Cool. All right.
I'm here. Apologize for the interruption with the. I did
say something because I'm trying to get my speaker working properly too. I don't know if it's. No, it's okay. It's all right. I'm gonna try now. Say something. No.
I'm here.
Sorry, guys. 1 second. So, Stu, why don't you and Matt go ahead and give your experience, your own, just from your own words, your own experiences in Washoe County Jail and how bad it was at the time that you were there, and then we'll segue up into the body cam footage from the jail that we've received in the discovery. How about that? Can we do that?
Okay. Yeah. Can everybody hear me? Okay.
How bad it is, and I think we need to expose it because it's criminal.
Yeah. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Stephen, can you hear me? Everybody else?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes,
Okay.
we hear you.
Okay,
Yes.
so my personal experience, and I'll bring Matt Pazak here in a minute.
Change the audio settings, but yes.
Okay, my personal experience is I've spent a total of 101 days in Washoe County Detention Facility. 85 of those days came in a row after I was illegally arrested outside of Nevada. And I spent 7 days in the Elko County Detention Facility. I spent most of my time in the Washoe County Detention Facility after being transferred to the Elko County Detention Facility in wheelchair. I graduated myself to be put into a walker, which is how I exited that facility on April 13th of 2022. However, I repeatedly requested to see medical assistance. There was a doctor who was on staff there. He was actually left a week after I arrived, and they had not put anybody else in that position until while I was there the whole time. There was no doctor on staff there. There's nurse practitioners. I believe there are a couple of registered nurses that I remember, but none of them of the doctor education, knowledge, and training. So the bottom line is this, folks, is that there's no qualified or quantified medical assistance up there. That can be attributed to by myself and Matt, who will be joining us here shortly, as well as Roger, and a lot of us that have known and been cognizant of the facts that medical care is non-existent. There have been 47 in custody deaths at this facility since July of 2004, two of which occurred recently. One of which was explained by the local media as, well, we didn't know this person had hung themselves until the morning watch, which is a bald-faced lie because the cells are checked every 15 minutes. There's no way that an inmate can hang themselves, not be recognized for any longer than 15 minutes, if they can even hang themselves. So this is what is the story, and all sorts of I was got to the point where it's halfway through my 85 days there in the detention facility. I talked to my friend Matt Scarlatus, who's hopefully
they're online, and they're like.
That being said, I would they're within an hour.
I took one and I was crazy, but it was like a good, eye-opening experience. You needed to go to the hospital. No, I was not. It's your such. But it sucks for you. Oh my God. Did you get that?
things, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, who's in the background? Talking.
Somebody's
Sorry about that, you guys. I think it might have been Letty. I got it though.
phone.
Go ahead, continue, Stu.
Well, yeah. This is also that you use to have your using one. Don't you think like this?
Right.
Stu, are you there? We cannot hear you at all among the background noise.
This is the type of horrible conditions that existed in Washington County, Texas, under the regime of Sheriff Darren Balaam and his staff. This afternoon, myself, Mr. Matt Pazak, will be speaking to you here shortly, and both two Washington Patriots. We all belong to Washington Patriots, by the way. Keith Hanley and Nicholas St. John went up and demanded the release of Roger Hillygus. Of course, they didn't accommodate us, but we put them on notice that the conditions up there facilitate his release, and that he needs to basically be released, or they need to put him in protective custody. Because this video that everybody just listened to, watched, has put us square in the gun sights of our enemies. And so I'm only worried about one thing tonight on this Christmas Eve. That is the condition and health of my friend, Roger Hillygus. People listening in tonight understand we're not stopping. We're going forward. We'll push this envelope as hard as we can. I'm not afraid of these people. If somehow, some way, an unfortunate action befalls me, which it won't, then there's enough people out there to understand. These people are perfectly corrupt.
Good. Absolutely. 100%. We need to expose it. Matt, have you spoken on your experience yet thus far? Because my audio was not working right. I had to reconnect it, but I didn't catch it. If you Stu, is he there?
Washington County. That being said, I'm going to try and bring my friend Matt Pazak into this picture right now. Because
Can't hear you.
Matt has a very hard story to tell as well. And let me Matt, we're at a family dinner.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably where the background, why we have background noise, guys. He's at a family dinner right now, so that explains it. I didn't know whose end it was coming from, but I thought it might have been his or somebody else's. But it's all right. We figured it out.
Let me speak for Matt Pazak. He's inside there, and I don't want to. Anyways, long story short,
we'll let him speak whenever he's finished and gets back. Go ahead.
Okay. So there's my story. 85 days in succession. I had to serve an additional 7 days for violation of a illegal gag order, which is illegal, just like they're trying to do to President Trump. I also served another 9 days for going outside the boundaries of the county to, number one, get cheaper gas because I was moving some stuff to a garbage dump and I needed to put gas in the truck. It's not very economically feasible to be able to do that. Number two, to talk a very long-standing friend of mine out of a potential suicidal platform that felt was my wheelhouse to do, and he's alive to this day. For that, I spent 9 days in jail, again in the facility. Although this time I was treated a little bit more differently, but I was still not treated as decently as I thought people should be treated in this facility. After I came out, I lost my job and have been to get back on my feet since then, which I have, thanks to the efforts of God and the people listening in tonight. I'm back on track. We're going to do what we can to save our friend Roger Hillygus. And I'm going to put Matt Pazak on here in just a second here. If I can mute myself real quick.
Sounds good. Sounds good, buddy.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, let me mute myself. Stephen, you can expound a little bit and let me get Matt Pazak on. Hang on.
Sounds like a plan. So, folks, we have some audio from from today that was recorded at the Washoe County Sheriff's Office by Stu and Matt here that are talking right now, and we're going to be airing that right after Matt speaks, folks. Some good and interesting stuff for sure. And then we have other exculpatory evidence we're going to be airing on this live. Now that we finished premiering the timeline, what were you? Have you been able to catch the timeline yet, Letty? The whole thing? Have you been able to view it yet, or have you just caught the last half that we aired on the live?
I caught the last probably 20 minutes or so, so I have not. I apologize. I was
no,
yeah,
you're fine.
we were working on something. Thank you.
Well, what did you just based on your first impressions? What did you think so far of just the 20 minutes you saw, Letty? Real quick before we get to Stu and Matt.
Are we talking about? Are we talking about the video that was?
Yeah, the one I just aired.
Oh
literally.
yeah, I watched that. Yeah. That I did watch. I thought you were talking about hopping on Zoom. Okay.
No. But the whole video, though, the timeline. You watched the whole thing, though?
Yeah, I honestly think that I liked everything. My concern was I wanted to see who came up with the rabbit laughing. I thought that, I really didn't know who came up with that. And so I had questions regarding that.
Kathleen Heber. That was her creation. That was her concept. So
do you think that people are going to take it serious?
I don't know. I mean, I would like to think that my previous work does speak for itself, but we kind of wanted to make it just a little bit comic relief thrown in there so that, people, because it's a heavy subject, and it's really, really like a heavy subject. And I wanted people to be able to.
This is real stuff. Yeah. So I wasn't familiar. So I went ahead and researched just maybe for a few minutes to kind of find out who set up Roger Rabbit. My concern is it's fictional, and I understand you want to throw in the humor into it, but
right.
For it to be taken serious, I just thought that for that purpose alone,
I had the same concern, obviously.
Be considered. This is real. People get seriously hurt and people die, and It's not a laughing matter. And what Roger's going through in his treatment and the conditions in the facility, I take it personal. My son was born normal. He suffered a tragic, horrific, the hands of the congressman's nanny. And I can tell you, she got 2 years probation and a fine of $3,000, paying it out in $25. So, I mean, I'd like people to know, where is the justice? I mean, this is not kidnapping. This is really serious, guys. Very serious. So we need to make sure everybody's taking it serious. There is no humor in this, period.
Agreed. Absolutely. I agree 100%. So let me kind of just let me let Matt speak on his experience real quick, and then kind of segue into the audio they recorded so that we can get into the other evidence as well on the live. Go ahead, Matt, whenever you're ready.
Hello?
Hey,
Hello?
There you are. Go ahead. Speak to your experience at Washoe County Jail just from a couple of years ago, from what you told me earlier.
Excuse me a second. Plane's going over here. Real briefly, I was incarcerated on a couple different charges, but they were dismissed. And but when I was in there, they actually took me off into some room over there, and I had 9 deputies accost me. One of them didn't participate, so I counted them. I had 8 deputies beat me up, and I couldn't believe it. And I wasn't doing anything. I'm not sure why. The other time, when I was walking in the door, and they grabbed me and were kind of hauling me around. My pants fell down. I was standing there naked in front of everybody. And, it wasn't a very pleasant experience. They kicked me out of there with, I don't know, some kind of flip-flop. They weren't even flip-flops. So I had to walk about 10 miles from there. I didn't have no money, didn't have anything. Ended up walking around town for a while, I guess. But it wasn't a very pleasant experience, I'll tell you that. Yeah. I mean, I could go into other details, but really don't need to. That's actually my experience at the jail. Yeah.
I just have a couple questions. I'm just real quick that are relevant to what we're talking about. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad would you say the corruption and abuse of positions of power are in that jail? from the time that you spent.
I have no idea. I mean, it seemed like actually the jail was professional enough, but this group of deputies, for some reason, there was a sergeant, I think one or two sergeants there, they took a disliking to me, or for one reason or another, I'm not sure why. They took me in and, they took me off in another room and kicked the shit out of me. And they were laughing about it. It was a big joke. And I couldn't understand. That really wasn't the impression I got from the employees, most of the other, especially some of the civilian employees in there, even some of the other deputies. And I don't know who this group was. It wasn't the group that those particular deputies weren't the ones that were overseeing, I'll call them guards, they're not guards, but the ones who were actually overseeing the inmates. It was another group of individuals that I'm not sure if I even saw them again after that. Honestly, it was like a goon squad, man. So it wasn't a pleasant experience. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Because that's relevant to what was the term, Stu, that being referred to you as in that House sale hearing again? Yeah, Matt just said it, right?
Matt speaks from personal experience. I will tell you on a scale of 1 to 10, the corruption in this county is 11. Okay, that includes county officials. That means the sheriff, means the district attorney.
You gave?
I will say on a scale of 1 to 10, the corruption in this town, in this county, is an 11. Okay. And I've lived here 49 years. I've lived here 49 years, Stephen. I speak from experience. I was threatened with my career as a law enforcement officer, and of all days, 9/11 to 2001, and that might be bearing another situation down the road. We have a Zoom call, but I'm not going to deal with that today. I'm going to deal with the fact that our friend's in jail. He's suffering tonight. It's Christmas Eve, 2023. He's been in jail for 15 months now, and nobody is doing the damn thing except for our group, and it's a large group, that are rocking the boat. And I'm telling you, folks, we're not going to just rock that boat. We're going to flip the SOB over and flip it upside down, because this garbage has to be thrown into the ocean. It needs to sink to the bottom where the rest of the garbage is. And these garbage is people that are using their positions of power and influence and authority to purposely hurt others. And now, based on everything we've talked about, based on your video, Stephen, we have circumstantial evidence leading to direct evidence to cover up a homicide. It doesn't get any worse than that.
You are absolutely right, my friend. It's really, really bad. I thought Vegas was corrupt, but what was the phrase you used, or the saying about small towns being more corrupt because everybody knows each other again, real quick, and then we'll get into the audio you guys recorded earlier.
Okay. Well, what it is everybody's got this persona that Reno, Nevada is this cute little quaint Western town that is flies under the radar. Vegas is always notoriously located, or not located, but notoriously tied into corruption. The films, Goodfellas, Casino, and all that stuff. It's about the mob. Well, the mob exists here, but they wear black robes. They wear black robes. They wear 2-3-piece suits and have titles as district attorney, chief deputy district attorney. They wear uniforms with badges and sport gun belts. They have titles of sheriff, undersheriff, et cetera, et cetera. This is the corruption that exists here. And again, I'm not speaking it because I worked law enforcement for 30 years. Matt worked law enforcement for 28 years. The bottom line is this. We know where the dead bodies are buried and who buried them. And Reno's always had this notorious little reputation at the biggest little city in the world. I take that back. It's the biggest little corruption city in the world. It's worse than Vegas. It's got its roots way back into the 70s. And I know this because I've encountered it. And I know this because it's gone on for 22 years now and involved the destruction of people's lives, including Rogers and his family, and my family, and others who have been harmed and sadly killed. Again, the focus tonight is what you did, Stephen. The focus tonight is the murder of Susan Hillygus, and they're trying to kill her son because guess what? 2 out of 3 gone. I'm the third. And I tell you what, I will not go down without a fight. I will stand up for against the corruption. And we are all doing something that is God's work. And on this Christmas Eve, I thank you very much for what you've done, Stephen and Allie, and Kathleen,
absolutely.
And everybody listening in tonight. Understand this. We're not stopping. People are listening in tonight.
We're just getting started, folks.
Just getting started, and there's other things to come. So everybody's listening tonight that's going to run back and tell all the people go ahead, be my guest. And I'm done.
So, also some other important information that our viewers may want to know. We're just like we did with the last timeline, the initial one that we did for our public audience, where we did the horizontal scroll bar in the article about a week after we did the initial video upload. We will be doing the same for this one. So 1 week from today, New Year's Eve, we are going to be airing the article I'm going to be putting together for this video timeline with the source links below it in the horizontal scroll bar that I created, which is, as far as I know, entirely unique to News for Us World. Let me just share with our viewers real quick what it looks like so they can have an idea of what to expect in the near future.
Absolutely.
And then we'll play the audio from earlier that you guys recorded.
Thank you.
All right. Can everybody see my screen okay?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
All right. So check this out, Letty. You're going to love this. I don't know if you caught this other one, but this is what's going to make this different than most documentaries or videos. Now, as you can see, we have the video here. However, we have the sources here in this horizontal scroll bar, and it automatically will scroll for the viewer as it gets to each source in the timeline. So, for example, we're going to go back. You will clearly see the pattern of August 2020 as the or resentful family members of those who and watch this whom are being unjustly and into view right here as soon as it hits that time code. Unlawfully targeted by these bad court actors. For the purposes of expediency and efficiency, this forensic timeline analysis, and click on the time code to go for the purposes of expediency and efficiency. Off that, folks, and you'll be able to click on the links. So we're going to do it just like that for this timeline as well, with all the evidence we've included in that, plus some extra stuff, so that people can see for themselves the evidence and make up their own minds. I think that's extremely important for this kind of coverage and case analysis. So. Be looking forward to that. I don't know. Have you caught this article on the timeline part 1 that we did, the initial timeline for the public? Letty, have you checked it out yet? I'm assuming you have.
Not yet. I need to check that timeline
Really?
out.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll put the link in the
I've not seen it. Okay.
And I'll send it in the chat so you can check it out as we see the rest of the live.
Appreciate that, Stephen.
All right. I muted myself by accident. This forensic timeline analysis will stick to the most relevant facts, evidence, and claims as they pertain to the Roger Hillygus case. However, any additional sources or evidence not prominently featured in the timeline analysis will be available to access through our unique horizontal. I'm trying to zoom out. Anyway, so scrolling source table directly below this video in the live description, and we can so people can check it out after the show. In addition there, but we have a lot of stuff. You can also access it on the News for Us page from the toolbar. It's like the second article down on the widgets on the right. So, anyways, let's do that, and let's play the audio from earlier and go from there. And also, I added the body cam footage from within the jail. Do you want to just go ahead and play some of these after that? Because they're only like a few minutes apiece. I think we should be able to get most of them in here, but we'll play a few and then we'll pause and let people speak. People like yourself, Stu, and Matt speak on it if you'd like, from your own point of view.
Okay. Well, we should have said, well, you guys are here because you've been notified that we're here. You're proving that what we're here to talk about is true and correct.
We're here to release a request for whistleblower back to this video just came out.
Right.
It's criminal conspiracy. It involves the sheriff's office.
Right, and the sheriffs that are in the office.
Correct. There's information out there to show there's a fentanyl ring, drug ring, going on inside the facility that's been alluded to by two separate people. So we're requesting that you release Mr. Hillygus today. Is that attainable? Yes or no? If that's no, then requesting be placed in a secure.
I'll let you do the talking, because you've got this down, I know. Right, so here to save a man's life from a murder ring. And I'm sure circumstances will become evidence.
Watch the video. Watch the video.
And there's another one coming out because the lady had the heart attack. She's not done. This isn't that one. Right?
Oh no, this is, oh yes.
That's round 2.
That's round 2. They don't know about round 2.
Okay.
Would you wait? Nicholas St. John.
Well, we don't have anybody to talk to here. Hopefully they'll send those.
You can't get past those doors.
I just want to look at the shit on the wall.
His dad was captain.
Yeah, he got some pictures I've seen before.
I mean,
Oh, there he is.
I gave her a phone.
Oh, man.
Oh, there's somebody.
Yeah, what's with, oh, okay, she had a medical emergency.
I know that.
The one that went into the ambulance?
Yeah, man. And she ripped me off actually a couple years ago. $7,000.
How is that possible? How did you fall into something?
Man, I was downtown, I'm serious. And they were helping her and her boyfriend out. Next thing I know, man, I mean, I don't know, it's a long story.
She got your wallet?
Yeah, buggy, it's a long story, man. Looks like someone kicked her shit out of her though. She was all bloody and I go, whoa, I know her. Last time I see her was in Sacramento.
People did say they're
Merry Christmas. Here we are, huh?
but I know where he lives.
Merry Christmas Eve.
Go by there.
Oh,
On top of my list.
the glasses. Way to go.
Off of
Oh, hold on, Denny. Hold on. You caught me at a rough time. 2 seconds. Let me get you in my ear. Okay. Oh, I got something to send you
Well, her
too.
office is on, but you have to keep going down.
Okay, I think I have you. Are you in?
It's on the ferry.
Anyway, I'm gonna go take a look.
Go ahead.
Are you gonna meet somebody?
No, we're fine. We're going to take a look. Nicholas is good. And he's
I'm trying to save a man's life, but I'm gonna send you.
Oh, you said you did it. Things are cool. I can't even get in one.
I'll make sure he does.
dispatch service.
Going down, we need to release him into our custody right now. Put him in protective.
Dispatch center is right up here. On the hill, right up here.
I gave him to
Knock at the door and say, what was the process?
Department and
No, I'm not. I gave
What process?
Yes.
What do you do? Say knock at the door.
you had 47 people die in your
no
custody.
different. I
We
said I
don't want
gave him to.
Roger Hillygus to be the next one murdered in this drug distribution facility.
What did they say? Harassment.
Right, they need to pick him up and release Roger Hillygus, yes. And that's what we're gonna say. We're gonna go through the motions.
You got my phone number. You can't.
But yeah,
And
we're,
proximity with her in a private.
he is.
meeting Ever.
We talked to Jesse.
Right, and that's why we're here to bring him down. And if we don't do it, nobody will. So here we are.
I wanted to know if Kevin got there yet.
So, yeah.
Okay, this is the first, it's coming out of the one I just sent you. Should be there any second, I just heard it. Watch this video, beginning to end, and then disseminate it to everybody you know. It's important that the more people get this, the less of a target that we are. It's all about, well, no, it's go time, okay? The corruption has to end. And this is how we do it. We shine the light on it, and then we put them all in jail. So,
I'm gonna go get.
right, 911 call because RPD did show up eventually. Okay, here come the other sheriffs or the under sheriffs. So go ahead and watch this video and then get it to everybody you've ever known. And we'll talk again soon after you watch it. Okay, bye.
No, I had to go get a different job. Packaging and receiving at a warehouse in South Reno. Sarge, are you representing this?
How you doing?
Good, did you say Matt?
Man.
Oh, Matt.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, I know you, like you knew my name.
No. Is that your name?
Matt. I thought you said Matt.
Maybe I do.
Maybe you do.
That's going to be hard to do on a Sunday.
The video came out today, the documentary. That puts a hit on Hillygus, and we're just here to make sure that he doesn't get killed because of the video that just came out.
What video?
And we're here.
It's real, and it's one of two.
So
There's
what's
another
your name?
one
I've
coming.
never met you before. Hi, Keith.
Pleasure to meet you. Yeah, we're just here to save someone's life. And, you know, this is that list that they spoke of people who've died since 2004. And it's like this place is a drug distribution center.
The best we can.
What's going on? I know you guys are, you know, just as easy as us. Joe, he's responsible for all these deaths.
I'm trying to watch the Christmas story.
Roger Hillygus is we have evidence showing that. So, let's see. So it's on YouTube. And, maybe I can send it. Pardon? No, I did forget to take that. I dress weird. I'm doing one of those domestic terrorists.
Are you really?
I go to the school board meetings. We just got Susan Enfield to resign. We've got 4 people to resign off the library board. They literally, the school board wanted to put drag queens in as teachers in preschool and kindergarten. What's going on?
Yes, sir.
So anyway, that's why we're up and we're in action because we got to wait for today. Yes, this video
Today, unfortunately,
this morning. So this puts a hit on Roger Hillygus.
1980 was a deputy sheriff in 1975.
Oh,
But you know what? Maybe we can summarize it.
Oh, it exposes all the people involved.
Does it name him specifically?
Oh, yeah. It names Barry Dressler. Well, that's.
But they found a cigarette butt? No, but like age of maybe like who did it on the.
There's actually multiple more than one documentary came out. This is going to be, you heard the drip, 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 and then the floodgates open. We're at the floodgates.
All that stuff.
So a lot of. So anyway, the front is kind of slow, but you have to watch the whole thing to really understand the depths of depravity in our legal system. It's just,
It'll be on Facebook Live this afternoon.
yeah.
It's a 2-hour video.
But it does put a hit on Roger. So, Roger, and people die in here, here's a list. People dying in here constantly.
47.
Something's going on in this facility, and it is not. And it's time for it to stop. So there's going to, 4,600 of us going to start showing up on a regular basis.
You said more were coming away? No.
I think this is it.
This is all about.
Yeah, this was a panic because we didn't know for sure it was coming out this morning. But this puts a hit on me. Because, well, he's just being focused on the whole thing. You have to watch it to fully understand why it
I understand that, but did anybody make a specific question?
How does that get in here? How is so many people overdose? There must be drugs in here to overdose, or nefarious activity in the people get murder-based jails all the time.
This is the actual video.
And that's where we're at. And we just want to make sure that doesn't happen to Hillygus because of this video.
Of course, yeah, video, is there any specific?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
The judges involved in his case are named correctly, and the various activities are discussed. So what you have to do is watch it, write down names as it goes through it.
Can you show the specific spots where Hillygus is
That's the video. Because, you know, he's the focus, he's the target of the legal system. Because his mother was murdered and he knew he couldn't quiet about it. And he was paying her, the people involved was paid money too. So there's a banking trail that implicates the ones who are running it and the ones who cross it and talk it.
Something come out that.
So, and another release tonight.
With all due respect, it's a criminal conspiracy.
So we just need to protect him, we don't get him in a safe situation. Really, he needs to be released because it's a focus, very resolution.
Do you need some assistance?
No, I'm with you guys.
No.
Hi.
Yeah, I just don't want to get involved, man. I've been in trouble with my life, so I come from walls. I don't know what I can do.
Okay.
Absolutely with you, sir.
What do we do?
I'm getting that down for officers.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, okay.
I got no problem with that. I got car keys in my
I
bike.
heard I make sure he didn't.
Stuart?
Yes, sir. Just my wallet?
Yeah,
If you want to take that out, please, sir.
No, it's just.
That's fine.
It's the holiday.
Okay. You know what I mean?
I live on the mountain. I dress fine.
Thank you, sir.
Usually, I mean.
Like I said, I've always
I'd say
been
where
where
we
we
need to go.
Amen, brother.
I'm a peaceful person.
It's something that I
I would
use.
never hurt you guys.
I mean, it's
We don't have any
I even used to carry my beer.
I think we have one lieutenant here, but it's not gonna, it's going to be word of mouth.
Yeah,
It's just gonna
What I'll do,
be press
because
conference.
obviously,
Sure.
I'm sure it's
Do
a
you
great
have
plan.
anything on you?
Can't exactly.
Sharp.
However, I
Oh,
can.
that's good.
I can explain specifically. There is evidence, circumstantial direct evidence to show that his mother was murdered. Not died as a result of lack of care or dementia or murder. There's a criminal conspiracy involved. I'm sorry to say this, law enforcement, district attorney's office, and judges involved in this. Based on this new video that's coming out.
Monday or Tuesday would have been.
I request
Because we would have,
release Mr. Hillygus.
Just as well, you guys, there's no
Legal
house.
order of the judge, or to place him in some sort of protective custody, because right now, he's not being allowed.
So,
Go ahead.
and you can finish, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
I need him to request that, okay? Just because he's an adult, he's a grown man, and he has his rights too, and I know you guys are looking out for him, and I can appreciate that. But he's gotta request that, and I'll send someone to talk to him, or I'll talk to myself, and find out, you know, what the deal is, and I'll reach out to our classification department, see if we can get him somewhere
I'm
that's more,
concerned for him.
but it has to come from him.
Okay, and he's not been allowed to converse with me today. We just found out that his ex-wife.
Are you guys codefendant?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that may be why.
No, there's no order anymore to stipulate you can't do anything.
Oh, okay.
The judge involved in this
Well,
case.
I wasn't sure, I said maybe, I don't know, I didn't read it.
The judge in this case is basically to violate federal law, state law, rules of the court, Supreme Court rules of the state of Nevada, rules of professional conduct, ethics rules, to basically screw us into the ground with all due respect. Now, I've never done that as a cop for 30 years. I've never hurt people like that purposely. This goes way back. To me, it goes back 22 years. For him, it goes back to money, power, greed, and abuse of authority. And I'm worried because this video is coming out this afternoon. It's going to go viral. It's going to go viral.
Can you give me anything that's going to talk about, just about what you're saying right now, it's sort of similar?
It goes into the lies that were set forth to begin with on August 8th, 2019, and perpetuated all the way up to current day. It goes into the fact that has been denied due process as a lie. It goes into the fact that federal laws have been violated in terms of civil procedure and criminal procedure.
Okay.
And it involves, like I said, involves the courts. To this day, I was taken out of gunpoint.
see the videos.
Okay. I was taking that.
But there are
For what
starting
reason?
to like try to on their own.
Well, I think all you guys
So
can
they
press it back.
But
I never had a lot of law enforcement, nor would I ever do that in my wildest imagination. Because all I was for 30 years. My parents retired at law enforcement, which I always had done. They greenlighted Roger Hillygus down at the SWAT team in Los Angeles County. Had he gone over to the window, they would have headshot him. They had 2 snipers on the wall. The deputy didn't want to because he lies to law enforcement. Not you guys. Sure. But the Reno Police Department.
Here's where we stand. Is that we came in here for?
I
Is that specific?
Yeah, just to let you guys know.
Okay.
I can't do that for you.
Well, okay, well, you also but the other thing I'll let you know.
Let the higher ups.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys letting us know.
Yeah, the other thing, I would just allow him to have.
Right, we just want to say
I'm
good.
worried about himself, so.
Yeah.
I really am.
Okay.
And involved in all of this thing, I mean, I've been at the facility now 3 times.
Request that?
I've always been treated except for one time. People thought I was going to commit suicide.
Excellent. So that's all we
I've always been treated with respect. And I've always some people bought your rank sergeant.
Machines out.
And that's my personal collection.
The election, watched it happen, came in,
We're worried that when this
Clark,
video comes out, it's
and
going to
he
be live on
retired.
Facebook before
So
close.
everybody we talk to, there's signs that retires. What's up? How come we can't get a second meeting before they're gone? As soon as we talk to somebody, so I expect they're gonna ask you to resign because you spoke with them.
I'm pretty sure I'll be here for a long time.
You're concerned,
They-
you understand the details, so if we did talk to him, it does want to
They
be
won't
PC.
see.
This is gonna have to go to
The most
administrative information first, right, or administrative staff. So
Every return will be fine.
he might not, and there might be some pushback, that's where it starts, right, doesn't go straight to protective specialty. Obviously, you have to go to administrative specialty first, and then they go from there.
Getting the money.
Which is, it's a form of protective custody, but it's pretty,
Dry clean sort of out.
it's like locked down, and I don't want that to cause issues.
Well,
But that's the
I
process.
understand. I worry
Just
about
the 7 books that
he
should
got
not
put in,
be
he got put in shoes because he took my underwear down.
graphic,
my
not
underwear, and
belonging
I
to
did procedures and stuff.
not kindergarten.
Apparently it was.
It's crazy what's going on right now. And we got tired of saying, right, we.
I'm not trying to make
do
stuff up.
something.
He's not only my lawyer.
I don't think he has.
Right, the citizens have to stand up to the machine.
Like, as far as like, no, as far as I can say,
You guys
it's been fine.
Sergeant,
It's not very well.
Okay. Well, let me go down there and work on that for you.
Tabulate.
Okay, I can't, obviously I can't just let him out.
my first was
Sure, but I'm more than happy to go down and chat with them.
But yeah, we can go on all day.
If he has concerns, but it has to be, it has to come from him, it has to be his
What
request.
is
Okay,
going on?
and I can appreciate you guys coming and looking out.
It's
You
as
know,
bad as.
I hope to have friends like you if I was in a similar situation, but
We know
I
he's
was on
not
the bat
paying
for you guys.
anything, not even his own
to the max.
constitution.
But I'll talk
That's
to
just,
him.
that's just what I ran the detention facility.
There's,
And I was really sad, there was a lady that
it has to be like Operation Sunlight.
she pulled over outside office. She was a
So
heroine.
we're Operation Sunlight,
She had
or
a traffic warrant out of Las
Russia
Vegas
Patriots,
for
or Michelle Holt's Wake Up Russia. She's the one doing the yeoman's work on getting the pornography out of the grammar schools and the libraries, because they're putting it all on the lower shelf in the children's section. And it's graphic porn. Let's put it this way, they won't even let us read any of the books in the meeting at the commissioner's office, the school board, or the library board, won't allow the gavel us, and they walk out.
That's right. I'm sorry. That puts the camera, that's my man. Those 2 guys were deputy, I got sergeant, 10 dogs in my spine. This guy was in for reprehensible excuses.
I don't want my grandson to become my granddaughter because the state wants to pay $400,000.
She's in for a life. Here's a suicide rate.
But unfortunately, we can only go so far.
Oh, I know, but
I know there's
it's
some
other
on
the
there.
steps.
I know there's some
We
issues
want to do
about
everything fair and legal and according to the Constitution, but we want it done. We know this shouldn't
Can't do that,
but we're here.
help me out, sergeant.
And it's time to do something.
Help me
Well, I
out.
can promise you, we'll talk to him.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
what I do.
I appreciate that, and that's all.
I just happy 47 people overdosing, dying.
He's happy, so
So what's supposed to be a safe facility.
And I appreciate your guys' politeness.
On the numerous occasions, the commissioner.
So he goes to administrative staff.
Talking outside of the machines. And what does he do?
But again, it's gonna be.
Oh, Philip retired
It's
too.
actually closer for me. I don't know what's going on.
Everybody's
Should that situation, it has to be. I have to.
I mean, there's a lot of activity taking place that we know about. It's what's your life in danger.
I get it, man.
We don't want to put you in there. This is what's going to take.
Because I just thought
That's
it was
a
gonna be
very
on
characters.
camera.
We all started with.
You don't know this, right? I should tell you.
Sorry.
But you can get back to the story. I don't know how many years.
We know all.
Yeah.
We just have to go through the steps and procedures. Machine.
Literally, you'll know because I'm gonna, he can reach out to me, he's able to.
Houston.
I'm fine. That's not.
Oh, really? You can do that when you leave here.
Do it right now. Yeah.
My Houston files only worth
You
2.75
guys have to leave,
million.
but I'm going.
Are you familiar with this?
You guys are all just spend what I'm gonna take off so I can go get his dick taken care
No,
of.
we're good, Sergeant.
We have a guy in our group.
Real, sir? That's it.
You sit by.
Thank you so much. See you next time.
They've been trying to help for 22 years.
All life.
It was a pleasure. Just giving you guys a heads up that you need.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
We are talking. Merry Christmas.
Enjoy those grandbabies.
Oh, yes, I'm gonna get on the quad as soon as I can.
There you go, and focus on that, that's more important.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
You were quite cordial.
Okay, so the word has been put out that they know now that we know and they know we're watching. This?
Yeah, that's it, brother. You hit it on the head.
Right. The light has been shined on it that the citizens are watching. And your dad was captain here.
Yeah.
And did they hear you? Did that get out?
So that was taken today, Stephen.
All right, before we air the next video clips from the inside the jail, I want to get everybody's context. I want to get your context and your context on this, Matt and Stu.
So let me, it was very difficult to understand because there were so many people talking.
Go ahead and begin. Go ahead and give us that context. Sorry, I didn't have my headphones in, so I didn't know if you started talking. Continue.
Okay, let me go outside here so I don't, no background. So what we decided to do based on your video coming out today was go up to the Washington County Detention Facility and request to speak, not demand, but request to speak to administrative staff that were handling the jail facility detention actions, whatever. We're handling the jail facility today. Let's put it that way. We did not meet with any command staff, but we did meet with 6 people, 3 of which were sergeants. We requested, and politely, with professionalism and courtesy, the release of Roger Hillygus based on the fact that he was being held illegally in the jail, based on the legal order of a judge, Barry Breslow, that has incarcerated him for 15 months now, unlawfully, based on an order that has no bearing whatsoever on this case, and that the fact that this judge is not bonded, does not hold his position legally and lawfully, and we requested his release, which of course they did politely denied, and we requested that he be placed in protective custody based on this video that we're now accusing entities, and entities inclusive of people that have contributed to in the cover-up of a homicide, that being the murder of Susan Hillygus. That's all been delineated in the audio and video. There's a video taken today. It's not been downloaded yet. It will be downloaded and provided to you, Stephen, within a short matter of days here after the holiday.
Okay, cool.
And the video was taken by Nicholas St. John, who was a Washoe Patriot. Keith Hanley was there. He's a Washoe Patriot. Myself, Washoe Patriot. Matt Pazak's a Washoe Patriot. All Washoe Patriots, 4 of us there. There were 6, like I said, there were 6 officers there, 3 of which were deputies, 3 of which were sergeants. I even allowed them to pat me down for weapons because they said, well, we don't like your hands going in and out of your hoodie. And I said, well, you know, it's kind of cold outside today. It was cold here, you know.
And he goes, for our safety, do you mind? I said, no, I've been patted down before. Obviously, I relinquished and I relented to them to be patted down, and they were appreciative of it. There was no threats made. There were statements, requests. Now, if the requests are not honored, the next time I make that foray up there to the Washington County Detention Facility, I'll be a little bit more forceful, saying, okay, you're holding this man illegally and unlawfully. His life's in jeopardy. His health is in peril. And now we're demanding, because what's going to happen here, folks, is this. If something happens to my friend, you're going to be held professionally liable and personally liable. That means you can be sued in your official capacity and personally. And that's in accordance with law. If you operate outside the course and scope of your duties, as stated in law, this is not conjecture, this is law. If you operate outside the course and scope of your duties, you could be subject to civil and potentially criminal sanctions against you for not abiding by your rules of whether it's a county commissioner, whether it's a city council member, whether it's a sheriff of a county, whether it's a district attorney, whether it's a judge. If you do not operate within the course and scope, if you go outside or you do things that are illegal and unlawful, which we have every aspect of the legal system here in Washington County subjected to under criminal sanctions and civil sanctions. And I say that without any hesitation in my voice tonight, folks. These people have committed federal law violations. They've committed state law violations. They have violated rules of professional conduct. They have violated rules of the court. They have violated ethics rules. Okay? This is not conjecture. This is not speculation. This is documented facts. And for these people to be allowed to operate and continue to operate in the positions of power and authority within this county is reprehensible conduct. And I'm going to demand through courses of action that are going to be left secretive right now, the removal from the respective positions of office. And we will take this to the people, and we'll show the people just how corrupt this city and county is. And if you don't believe me, anybody listening tonight, go ahead, try me. I've had enough. 4.5 years of this garbage that have destroyed both Roger's lives and my life, respectively. More concerned tonight about Roger's life because he's my friend. His health is in peril, like I just said a few seconds ago. And this is going to stop one way or the other. And they can call me whatever they want to call me, but they can't take away the fact that I've been here 49 years, 30 of that being law enforcement. I've seen corruption time and time again. And this is what's taking place. And this is what's took place today. We had deputies that they're just kind of acknowledged us. We're very professional, but stood fast on my request to have Roger released. Well, I can't do that. It's above my head. I get it, but I made the request. I'm going to come back and make that request again tonight, Stephen. I'm going to make that request again, not tonight. I'm sorry, shortly. I'm going to make that request, but it's going to be a little bit sterner this time. And I'm going to put people on notice. Like, listen, you've already been noticed and you failed to abide by the rules. You have a person in there who's being tortured. Oh, by the way, lest I forget, there's an active fentanyl drug ring going on inside the jail facility. Besides the fact there's been 47. Yeah, Hilly, right. And there's 2 inmates in there that have brought this information forward. And guess what's happened to them? They've been retaliated against. Why? Because they don't want the truth to come out. And the truth is coming out today, folks. On this Christmas Eve, it's coming out today. It's going to continue to come out until they stop us. But the funny thing is, they're not going to, are they, Stephen? They're not going to stop us. We are on the warpath to release our friend who's been illegally detained and illegally incarcerated. His mother's been murdered by a collaborative effort of the legal system that involves judges, district attorneys' offices, federal agencies, county agencies, state agencies, and local agencies. I rest my case, ladies and gentlemen.
Here. Absolutely. And guess what? And to all those bad court actors that would think that they are going to stop us or try, guess what? We're not beholden to you. We can't be bought off. We can't be paid off. We can't be coerced because we're pissed and we're coming for justice and accountability. All of our lives have been affected by this, and we want nothing short of accountability under the law and justice under the law. And I mean, under constitutional law, the way our country was set up and founded to be based on, which they're completely ignoring right now. And corrupt courts.
Correct. And there are other people who are on here tonight that have been victims of the corrupt courts. They know who they are. I'm not putting their names out in Front Street. I want them to zero in on me. Zero in on me. I'm a lot more difficult than you can imagine. I know a lot more about things that happen. If something should happen to me, well,
as am I.
All hell is going to break loose, folks. All hell. And you know what? if this was the case back in 75, 74, we wouldn't have a country today because the colonists stood up to that British hierarchy and monarchy and tyranny and said, no, you ain't going to do this. We're here to get away from you. And of course, it took 2 wars.
100%.
Yeah, took 2 wars to get the point across. Well, I'll tell you what, Stephen, as you well know, we're in a war right now, and the battle that has started today is not going to stop until our friend is released, until justice is brought forth. And I don't want to sound like a pulpit speaker tonight, but I am mad. I'm angry on this Christmas Eve that our friend Roger Hillygus is being held in jail by these reprehensible excuses of public officials. Enough. This is enough.
For the record, folks, Roger Hillygus and Stuart Handy did not kidnap Susan Hillygus. They rescued her from that facility because Robin Renwick, the sister, mind you, was over-medicating her mother with lorazepam and risperidone. Risperidone, which is deadly to patients with
very
dementia.
Dangerous for the elderly. Very, even for my adult vulnerable son. He ended up in the hospital on that. Yes, very dangerous drug.
And my own mother was victimized by a neglect and abuse at a care facility because she was injured by the and in 2021, March 2021, she collapsed, and that's what it was. She's still injured. Yeah, she can't walk. The last 2 years we've been trying to get her muscle memory back, do physical therapy. I mean, it's a long road, but that's what that did to her. And I'm pissed about that. And I'm pissed that the hospital and the care facility did not include any records of the wounds that she obtained at the care facility when they sent her home. They completely ignored it. It's been a freaking nightmare getting my mother the proper care that she deserves and she is entitled to after having worked all her life.
Irreversible damages. The damage is not reversible.
Yep, my mom's been damaged too by all the medication and being in a lockdown facility for almost 5 years now. It's just, she's not a prisoner. I should be allowed to take her to dinner or something. Absolutely, but I'm not. I'm not an authorized signer. So yeah,
it's such a bunch of bull crap. We are.
You, Allie, you may not be an authorized signer, but you're a bona fide daughter.
Yeah.
Damn right you are. You're a bona fide daughter that actually cares, unlike some of these siblings of ours that pretend like they care, but they have an ulterior motive and then they do something else. Like, my sister, i.e. example, your family, Allie, with the whole situation you have, and I'm sure we all have family members like that. And as in Roger's case, it would be Robin. But we actually care, and Allie cares. Stu cares. We care about people, and we want justice, and we're not going to settle for anything less, folks. Let's take a look at some of this body cam footage from within the jail that we obtained in the exculpatory evidence, and then maybe you guys can speak on it a little bit after we go through a couple segments. Yeah, Stu and Matt, maybe?
Matt, I'll speak on it.
Cool.
I'll speak on it only because I believe it or not, by default, I've spent more time in this jail than Matt has. So Matt said he'd rather me speak. So you go ahead and roll up body cam footage.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Oops, hold on one sec. Oh, let me stop this. I gotta fix the give me 1 second, folks. Can you guys hear it okay?
I can't hear you.
I can't hear it.
Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me set it.
No audio on my end.
Yeah, that's right. That's because it's got 30 seconds of silence at the beginning. I forgot about that. Hold on. It should be coming up here in a minute, folks. Give it 1 second. 9, 8, 7, and then we should hear the audio any second. Oops.
What your heart desire.
Yeah. No, I'm going to take it with us.
Or no?
Hey, Hillygus. Yeah. Hey, do you have a tablet in here already? No. No? Okay, thank you. We were missing one. I just want to make sure you didn't drop it off to you first. Are you going to want your laptop later on from 9 to 12? No, I need my tablet. So.
Yeah, how is it right there?
Sorry.
Okay, I'll find you one. I'll get you a tablet, and then just let me know the other thing. Refused at 7:08. I'll ask again later.
That's true. Okay, that happens. Okay. Yeah.
That's Roger in the wheelchair, isn't it? Right there. Yep. And this was July 8th of this year.
What districts are you in?
15.
Is it Snyder?
Yeah, I'll call you. Yeah, I got a tablet for you. I'm just checking the battery real quick.
Snyder, I got some mouthwash on my cycle for as well.
I can't. I haven't found my missing one yet, but I'm gonna leave this one with you. There's a wipe to clean it off, okay? That's why I wanted to see if they can already drop yours off.
I am going to let you guys speak on those first two real quick, you guys, and then I'm going to copy them over to my new hard drive that I won't have any lag issues with.
What would you like me to say?
To speak on the two videos we just watched. I did see it, but I wasn't able to hear much of it because of my
This
audio
is the way they
settings.
treat people in that facility. It's
I just
degrading.
think it's degrading what
Yes,
putting a flashlight in someone's mouth, and poor Roger's in a wheelchair. He didn't go in there in a wheelchair. What the hell did they do to him?
What the hell did they do to him, Allie? I'm gonna tell you what they did to him. They denied him medical treatment. They hurt him somewhere, somehow, and denied him medical treatment, just like they denied me medical treatment. And I had to force myself from a wheelchair into a walker. That's what they're doing. They're denying him medical treatment.
Absolutely, that's what they're doing. Well, but just just so everybody is aware, they do that. It's common practice in jails and prisons for them to do a mouth check after taking meds. That's not very. It's pretty common. They do that all the time. But I didn't know if you knew that, Ali. But they do that. That's protocol, I believe, if I remember correctly. But it is inhumane.
It is
I think
protocol, but it's also a trust issue.
it is. It really is. You're right about that. Absolutely, 100%.
I mean, if they don't take their medicine, it's on them. I mean, it's detriment to them. Why wouldn't they take it? You know what I'm saying?
It's not necessarily that. It's that some people get medications that they could sell there, like that might be considered, schedule medications, if you will, so to speak. That's probably, I think that's what their excuse is anyway. But that's what they
Yeah. So are you saying it's a safety and protection for the inmates?
Well, that's what they claim. They claim they do that so that inmates can't hide or hide the fact that they're not taking their meds because they'll end up going and selling them and stuff. And that's what usually is the reasoning that they give for their excuse for doing that. But
Let's take
I'm
a
sure
moment
they have
to
their own motives.
Yeah, because there's fentanyl in there. So where's that coming from? And are they, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't really add up in my brain where they're doing that for prescription meds that they actually need, but then there's fentanyl in there being distributed. crazy.
One of the things that you gotta, I don't know if you've ever done any jail time or prison time, any of you guys, but I know I have done some of my own in the Fed, and I know from my own experience there that they do that. It's the norm. I mean, they it just it's not humane. I agree. It's but this is very very routine with what
But
they
do
do
you
in
think
prison.
that's more of a deception of protection?
Could be,
kind of
could be,
guardianship and
absolutely,
stuff?
yeah.
It's, you know,
Absolutely. They use it as a cover, I'm sure, for a lot of their corrupt activity. And another, which I was going to get into as far as how they get this kind of stuff into facilities like that, is they have people smuggling it in, whether it be a
Right.
corrupt guard or whether it be a corrupt inmate or somebody on the out. That's common practice. So that's somebody either on the inside is getting it from somebody on the outside or somebody that's working there or something to that effect. But that's usually one of the three methods that they are able to do that. So I don't know if
yeah.
you knew that, Ali.
And that's
Yeah,
a good,
Tarrant
or
County has a big investigation. It was an inside detention officer bringing it in, and they would sell it during the snacks. I guess they have, I mean, I've never done prison time, but what I'm following this investigation, it seems that it was inside and they were selling it. The same officer was selling it to the inmates. So, you know how when you buy certain extra
Yeah.
snacks, meals, yes, it was being sold there. So it's interesting. I'll have to share the link so you guys can know.
Yeah, definitely.
it
And we'll put
seems
it
like
in the sources for the live.
The bartering
Yeah.
system in there.
it
The
seems
bartering
like
system.
someone should be checking the employees coming in more than the
Well,
inmates.
she was fired, but it's under a big investigation right now. It's big. I mean, it went out of control for too long.
Right.
Took them too long to catch her.
All right, so I'm going to screen share some of the just some of the exculpatory evidence we have not had a chance to put into that timeline. I think it's important though, and it is relevant. I'm going to share a couple different things, folks. So give me 1 second here. I'll bring it up. I'm going to share the no bond that Brazil has a lack of, and then I'm going to share some other things too, as well as I want to share what was the filing that Steggy did not too long ago where he referenced the assembly bill in the actual document like an idiot. I want to show that. Stu, do you remember how long ago that was? Like a couple months, right? Allie, you remember? Unmute yourself, you guys, real quick. So
Say that again.
The document or the filing that Steggy did not too long ago where he referenced the assembly bill in the actual document instead of the quote unquote the NRS statute, and which was a huge mistake on his part.
Oh, I don't remember which one that was. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. I'll find out. I just was curious if you had known off the top of your head. Go ahead. Stu, are you there? Unmute yourself, buddy. All right. Well, I'm gonna see what I can bring up. But go ahead and Allie, speak to your own experience briefly on helping as part of the team with this case and what you've seen just from doing that things from that perspective. I'd love for our viewers to hear from you for a bit while I get this ready.
From the perspective of just following the case since 2018.
Yeah, and doing all the advocacy work and that the volunteer work you've done up until this point, including reaching out to me and through Luann Fleming and getting you guys on my platform and leading up to the timelines. Yeah, I would love to hear your inside scoop on this fight for our viewers.
Well, I connected with I first connected with an elderly advocates group in Ohio, and then they connected me with the Ohio Coalition and Probate Corruption, and then I just met a lot of victims through that, and then therefore I met Dr. Sam Sugar through that those connections, and then I that's how I stumbled upon his video interviewing Roger about his mom, and his mom was still alive then. So you can find that video on YouTube, and it's you can tell Roger's upstanding man. I mean, he was a firefighter for a long time, and he's just a really good guy. And it's a shame what's happening to his family and so many families, thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands. We don't even know how many people are being victimized through our own courts. Even in my own county, hundreds and hundreds of people are being thrown into involuntary guardianships. You know, it's not just my mom, it's not just Roger's parents, it's not Letty's son. This is becoming common practice. And I really feel like, I mean, I know that the money is a big factor, but I feel like the control too is a huge problem. You know, you're harming people and isolating them from their family. It's a form of torture during wartime, and we are at war. We are under attack. Our families are
we
under.
are. Absolutely. Yep. Go ahead.
These bar members, these judges who are also bar members, people need to really remember that they are attorneys and lawyers or whatever you want to call them. But the bar members seem to be like they have this Esquire title. I don't get what that is, but it's just it's a huge corruption and racketeering ring, and it's treasonous. They're traitors. I mean, they've harmed so many people. I don't even know how they sleep at night. So I hope we can save Roger's life, because his parents, both of their deaths were accelerated and premature. And I know my mom could have had a much better life. They've not benefited her life in any way, nor Letty's son, Jonathan. Nobody has benefited from guardianship that I have seen. And I'm not saying, I was a guardian for Rick's daughter. I was an excellent guardian. I looked out for her. I didn't abuse her money. I have all my receipts, all of that. But I'm talking about these for-profit, court-appointed guardians that have guardianship mills, and they the judges giving them, these specific attorneys, guardianships over and over. How can you properly care for more than, a couple people? You can't care for hundreds of people. You just can't do it. There's no way that you can properly care.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
what is it? One nurse for like 20 people or something? Allie,
well, no,
I'm
talking about the guardians. Like, I know
that too.
Say one guardian has 100 people that they're supposedly caring for. That's not. There's no way that you could do that.
There's not. It's not feasible.
No, and why? And especially when there's people, that are trained. I have training now that I could care for my mom myself. I mean, and she took care of her son his whole life. I mean, families should take care of family if they have the ability to do so, and they have the will to do so. Why wouldn't they? How do you don't know anything about my mom? I mean, she has macular degeneration and glaucoma, and they're letting her go blind. They haven't treated any of it. They don't care to listen to me. They don't care to take care of her. Her teeth are falling out, breaking off.
You know what it is, right? They don't want to spend the money on it. That's what it is.
I know. She doesn't even get any money to do anything. I'm the one that always takes her treats and not coffee, but tea from Dunkin' Donuts.
Yep.
And things to make her life better, and go visit her and spend time with her. That's what families do. These people are they're disgusting. What were you going to say?
They're the Black Robe Mafia, and I'm going to speak on your behalf, Allie. Allie has been there for both Roger and I. I didn't even know her when I was in jail. And the court system in the state of Ohio, Trumbull County, has basically robbed her. And we're talking robbed by judicial magistrate. And I'm naming him James Frederica and his cohort, Emily Clark Weston. Maybe I got that right, Allie. They took money from her that was rightfully hers for caring for Rick's children after she lost the love of her life. And if that doesn't take you to a level of unconscionable anger, I don't know what can. That this is a person who has dedicated her life to helping others as an advocate. She's helping her mother. And I hate to speak out against your family members, Allie, but you're the only person that goes and visits her. And I get reports from Allie all the time how some days she's not good, some days she's great. I've seen video of her mom laughing and clapping along to music. And Allie's also told me that she's had bad days. Nobody wants to be in these wicked concentration camps. They're the modern day Auschwitzes. I got chastised for saying that. I'll say it again. These assisted care facilities are modern day Auschwitzes. People go there as a result of people that don't care about them. And how despicable is the attitude and behavior of another human being that's been raised more than likely by those parents and relatives to turn their back on them like a rattlesnake and say, this is where you're going to spend your last years, months, weeks, days, hours, and we really don't care. Have a nice life. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, but we'll take your money. We'll take your money. Bullshit. Okay? We're going to take these people down. And what they've done to Allie and Letty and Roger and countless thousands of other people, this is going to stop. I don't care what position I am to help out. I'll be there whenever I need. But you know what? I've had enough. And everybody on this call is listening tonight. God bless you, Stephen. God bless everybody that's put forth this video. There's more to come. And like I said, we're not rocking the boat. We're flipping the son of a bitch over. I hate to be swearing on Christmas Eve, but I'm going to because I'm angry. So I don't want my friend Roger.
I'm going to coin a news phrase real quick. We're not. What was it? What was it you used? We're not flipping. We're not
rocking the boat. We're flipping the son of a bitch over.
All right. I got a variation. We're not rocking the boat. We're flipping the script.
We're flipping a script. You're damn right. We're flipping a script, and we're turning it back on them. And and tonight of all nights, on the anniversary of the coming birth of Jesus, how bad is it when we just turn it back on another human being? That's where we started this society, this civilization years ago. Started in a garden that was meant for the goodness of people until one person took a bite of a forbidden fruit. Transpires today. If you don't believe me, look what's going on against the world. Look what's going on in this country. But we're focusing in tonight on the guardian probate fraud, that people are being hurt and dying, and the fact that our friend, our stalwart, our advocate, only crime was to try and save his mother's life. What have we degraded into? What the hell have we degraded into? And with that, I'll step away from the mic. God bless you all on this Christmas Eve. I will mute myself, and I will not get back on here until if somebody wants to talk to me. That's great. But I'm a little angry and I'm a little upset right now. And I think it's best for me to.
Thanks, Stuart.
Understandable, Stuart.
Hold up. Can you guys hear me at all?
I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I just had to disconnect my mic real quick to check something, but I got it. I just had to make sure that it was working for you guys. Okay, cool. Let's play this a couple more segments from the body cam footage, and then we've already got 3 hours in this live. Let's do maybe 3:30 or 4 tops. I want to just cover a little bit more exculpatory evidence, and then we'll also cover more of it as well next week when we do the article, and then we'll wrap it up here in about 15, 20 minutes if that works for everybody.
Yes.
Fine with me. Yes.
Cool. Awesome. All right, let me play this. All right, cool. Sound is sharing. Here we go. Can you guys hear it on your end?
Not yet.
Not
It has
yet.
30 seconds, doesn't it? Before.
Yeah, 30 seconds. But let me know. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can, once you do hear it, so I can know, because I can't hear it at all on my end because of the audio setup, the way I have it set up. because I had to unplug my headset earlier to charge it. Cool. Hold on, you guys. Sorry, it's lagging right now because I'm copying files to another hard drive. Give me a second here, folks. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay, here we go. Let's try this again.
Cool, thank you. I appreciate it. This other door was screwy. You guys have a hard time with it. Kind of push the door to get it open. Yesterday, Carter did it pretty easy, but the other time, some other guy go around to the other side and open it from the outside. Somebody said they're gonna do a write-up to get that lock fixed, but anyway, I just thought I'd let you know that it's screwy.
Okay. I'll let you go here. Yeah, I'm not going in here unattended, so we just. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to come by and stand by you. Carpenters. Remember, I'm taking Hillygus out, but I gotta go the other way around, so just stand by with them. Yeah. No, I can need the keys. Just have them stand by, that's all. Because I have to go around because the lock's jacked up. Yes, stand with them. Clifton, watch David for a second. Thank you. Go, do your set real quick. I'm going to open this door, so go run.
Thank you.
11:04.
Sir. A lot easier from this side of it.
Yep, significantly easier.
Do you remember which tablet it is? Or it's this.
No, so my celly turned into one that I was using.
Oh crap!
And
okay.
I'd saved a message on that, and then the internet went down at 11:30.
Okay.
And he turned it in, and when you save a message on the tablet,
you can only use it on that tablet again.
That tablet. I've been typing for 2 hours. That's why I saved it.
Yeah. Let me. We just handed them back out too. Do you remember the number on the tablet?
I didn't write that down. I'm going to start writing that down from now on. But
yeah, just so we can remember. So what I'll do is I'll go over to the computer right now and I will pull up who's using that tablet right now. So if someone else logs in, does that delete your message?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think
all right.
I can still, if I log onto that tablet, I think I want to try anyway.
Yeah. Let me go and find out. I will find out who I gave it to, or who the porter gave it to, because we handed them back out to the top tier again now.
I mean, if I can just try.
Yeah. No, I'm okay with trying to find it. Yeah, absolutely.
If it's gone, I'm going to be upset, but I'll deal with it. But
and especially if you've been typing for that many hours on a small screen. So let me go over right now and try to find it. Okay, I don't want to waste any more time on that. But let me go get it.
Are you piped up in here?
Okay, so I found where the tablet you were using. I found the new slot one too. Can I trade this one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm going to trade this one out, and then that way they still have their tablet for their visits, and then I will get yours back. Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're really not, but we'll do it.
Let's log that out. I'll log out of this. Log out. Okay. Evans? Yeah, I gotta trade you that tablet. I'm gonna give you this one. The guy that was using that before had done like a 2-hour-long letter to his attorney and saved it. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that very much. It's logged out. Full charge. Good Wi-Fi. Alright, so I don't think he even got a chance to log into this yet. So I think, yeah, they were still asleep. So I think that you might have lucked out that nobody logged into it again.
Let's see.
Let's check it out. I mean,
I'm interested because these things.
It'll be something new for me to know too, because I don't actually know how that works. Right. This new system for visiting is not as fun as the old one. It provides different avenues for anger.
Aha, it's there.
Oh, thank God. I'm in. That was close.
appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tracking this
maybe
down.
because I think what we might do, maybe we'll just start like keeping one specifically just for you, like log it by the number it is.
Yeah.
And that way we can just say, hey, don't.
Having buffering issues. All right. We're gonna just we're gonna stop this because it's lagging too much for people, and I just want to get to some of the documents. So we'll speak on that real quick, Stu, and then we'll get into some of this stuff.
Basically, what they look like on the last video you showed, looks like they're trying to accommodate him a little bit, which was mighty nice of them, considering that they've exhibited torturous behavior on him. And I just don't know what to say at this point, to the point of they're trying to cover their bases, I think, and they're trying to acquiesce and give him a little bit of decency based on the fact that they've given him most of the time in that facility inhumane treatment. So I think today, apparently, I'm getting information back that Roger was visited today by two members of the sheriff's office, detention staff, facility would be uniform officers. So we did make a difference by going up there today and putting forth our efforts to those who needed to be put forth the efforts too. Good. Basically, put them on notice that we're fearful that Roger's health, which is imperiled, he could lose his life in this facility based on the information that he knows. And people say, well, Stuart, why would they do this? Why would they do this? Because they've gone so far overboard, ladies and gentlemen, to go after Roger and I, that they can't change horses midstream. They're not going to. They're just going to keep going and amping it up because if you get rid of 2/3 of the problem, there's only 1/3 left, and then you don't have to write the checks now, do you? And the checks, ladies and gentlemen, are going to be in the multi-million-dollar range, and more than likely it's going to cost people their careers, their livelihoods, their financial freedom, their stature in the community, their positions within the legal system. That's what we want specifically. The money doesn't mean jack crap to me unless these people are taken out of their positions. I don't care about the money. The hell with the money. I want people's jobs. I want their careers. I want them brought down. I want them exposed. Identify, expose, take down. That's my three main components. Identify, expose, take down. And if I'll lead the charge whenever you need me, I'll stand behind whoever wants to lead it. I'll be right alongside of whoever wants to lead it. But we're going to take them down. And if they don't think we're going to take them down, well, stand by. You watch us work, because we got a whole bunch of more stuff coming your way, folks, and it ain't pretty for you. Good for us, not pretty for you. So I believe what they're trying to do with Roger in that video right there, Stephen, is just kind of like, well, see, we're treating them nice. See, we're doing okay. No, you're not. Your reprehensible excuses of cops. You got a sheriff who failed the FTO program.
Well, it's kind of like how they're doing with Hunter Biden, and how they're they're trying to do that little optics maneuver where they're trying to say, oh, see, we're not a 2-tier justice system. He's accountable too. When it's all bullshit, when everybody knows it's bullshit.
Well, yeah, and Allie made the point. That guy is nice, but Allie, that's one of many that aren't nice. One shining star amongst the dark evilness that's pervasive in that detention facility. Like I said, well, Matt said he had 9 deputies go after him.
Yeah, I get it.
He had 9 deputies go after him and beat his ass. One of which he said looked sad and didn't participate. The other 8 beat him up for no reason. I had people come into my cell and basically threatened to rip the clothes off my back because they thought I was suicidal. Well, I was despondent. I was depressed, but I never said I was going to take my own life. Rogers never said he's going to take his own life, but they placed him in the infirmary. Why? And lockdown. Why? Because he wanted to be warm. That's his only problem. And ratting out these filthy excuses of cops that are running a fentanyl ring out of a blessed jail facility. Again, my temper up, my dander's up, and I promise myself.
Welcome, Anne Marie. I'm glad you're here. Go ahead.
I promised and they killed Anne Marie's brother. They murdered her brother, Thomas Purdy.
Do you want to speak on that a bit, Ann?
Yeah, please do, Anne Marie. I'm really upset right now, and listening to this stuff tonight just really upsets me, and I'm going to stand down. Okay, thank you guys.
Go ahead, Anne Marie. Whenever you're ready, we're here. I want to hear from your perspective what happened to your brother, so our viewers know.
My brother was 38 years old when he was a guest at the Peppermill Casino in Reno. He had a mental health crisis, and he asked security for help. Instead of helping him, Reno PD hogtied him. Sorry, it's upsetting to talk about, but we hogtied him for 40 minutes.
Okay, take your time.
And the whole time he told them that he couldn't breathe, he needed an ambulance, and they brought him to the Washoe County Jail, still hogtied, where he told the multiple deputies that he needed an ambulance. He was going to die. He had major lung surgery, which he had a prior collapsed lung. He actually said the words to them, you could have been a lot better people about this. Why did you do this to me? Because my brother was non-violent, non-combative, non-aggressive. He was literally having a mental health crisis where he thought somebody was trying to kill him. And instead of helping my brother, they tied him up like a wild animal. And then the deputies at the jail, who valued property over human life, instead of cutting the hog tie off my brother, they put him face down, and 4 deputies got on his neck and back area and asphyxiated him to death. And for nearly 10 minutes, none of them provided any type of medical attention to my brother. Nobody tried to do CPR. It wasn't until REMSA arrived that over 10 minutes later that CPR was initiated, and REMSA immediately was able to get my brother's heart beating again. But unfortunately, he had been without oxygen for too long and was brain dead. So the Washoe County Sheriff's Office dumped my brother at the renowned hospital where my brother lay on life support alone for 2 days, brain dead. The jail told the hospital, if he makes it out of this, we don't want him. They never tried to contact my family to let us know what had happened to my brother. And then we didn't find out the truth of what happened to my brother for almost a year when I finally got the videos from the jail. They had told us my brother just suddenly stopped breathing and he was talking crazy. They never told us he was hogtied. They never told us that 4 deputies got on his neck and back and neck. And my brother was actually one of 3 men asphyxiated by deputies at that jail within a 1-year period. And there have been several deaths, over 10 deaths since my brother died at the facility, including one this past Sunday, I believe.
Thank you for sharing, Anne Marie.
It's just been an ongoing pattern and practice to abuse inmates there. They're more like sadists working there.
They get off on it.
Yeah, they do. It seems to be the culture there. It's something that's encouraged rather than discouraged by the uppers that work there.
Yeah,
around the place.
definitely. Yeah, no, the people that are in the positions of power are the ones that are calling the shots. And we seem to have that same situation all throughout the country in every aspect of our society, which is really scary. But I've heard from people that I podcast with on other parts of the country, like New York, and that they're actively talking to the good guys that are in these positions that are trying to stop it, but have their hands tied because of their bosses are telling them to look the other way and don't speak on it, or you lose your job. But that is, we've confirmed that is exactly what's going on all around the country, not just in the police department or the federal agencies as well. The DHS, DOJ, a lot of these different 3-letter agencies have the same dilemma, and it's really it's why we have all these whistleblowers coming forward with the House lately, because they're tired of it and they see it too, but their hands are tied at this moment, and that's why it's incumbent on us, the citizenry, to expose this, because that is the freedom of the press. The original purpose of that was to act as checks and balances against corrupt officials. I don't know if most people know that, but since the mainstream is not doing their job anymore, it falls upon us, the citizenry, to do it, and we are doing it. So, Stu, could you tell our viewers briefly what we're looking at here on the screen? I'm sure you know what this is.
Yes, that is Judge Barry Breslow's oath of office. That looks like it was attested to on the 4th of January 2021. Now, I'm going to say a little something here. It's going to, I don't know, it's going to shock the conscience. It should. Judge Barry Breslow is not a bonded employee of the
That's
as required under
right.
Nevada revised statutes. I can't remember up the top of my head, but let's add a little bit extra into the mix, shall we, Stephen? Judge Barry
for it.
Breslow was appointed to the bench to fill in the unexpired term of then Judge Lydia Stiglitz, who ran for and was successful in attaining a position in the Nevada Supreme Court. All can be justified and documented about what I'm about to say here. All can be justified and documented. Judge Barry Breslow was appointed to the bench by then Governor Brian Sandoval. Now, Brian and I have known each other for quite a period of time. Brian actually worked at the St. Mary's Hospital with my only partner in the Nevada Highway Patrol, Larry Cassidy. Larry Cassidy and Brian are very good friends. Brian and I have known each other since college. In fact, I was at the first social mixer when he met his then wife, Kathleen, and they became married. However, during the time of Brian's rise to stardom, so to speak, the marriage became soured and they divorced. Judge Barry Breslow, while Brian Sandoval was the governor of the state of Nevada, bought Brian Sandoval's house located at 4145 Latigo Drive in Old Southwest Reno.
And we have that up here on the screen for our viewers to look at and see for themselves.
Correct.
So
You
this
can
is
call
something
that
we
quid
have
pro
not
quo.
aired yet, folks.
Yep.
But this is
something
just
that is a
one of
bombshell.
many pieces of evidence we have. Go ahead.
Yep, this is a bombshell. And again, I don't want to take up your time, Stephen. I mean, there's people that needs. Anne Marie's story is heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking for a gentleman who has a mental health condition to ask for help. Just like the lady that asked for help down in Mineral County, Nevada, was given a mop and a bucket to clean up her own vomit. She went into convulsions and seizures. She died because she's coming off a heroin high. You know, it just keeps going and going and going. And so Brian Sandoval allowed Barry Breslow to buy his house. That's quid pro quo or conflict of interest, however you want to see it. That's called corruption, folks. Corruption at its finest hour. And it's reprehensible conduct. And nobody thought that we'd be smart enough to get that information. But by God, Stephen, we did, didn't we?
We did. We damn sure we did. And if they ever underestimate us again, here's a message to every single one of them. Don't fuck with us, because if you fuck with us, you're going to fuck around and find out. We're not playing around.
That's Ali's saying, fuck around
We
and
want
find out.
justice.
Damn right. You're going to fuck around and find out. So that being said, it's unbelievable. And this corruption, unfortunately, I know about a lot more stuff, and I don't want to get into it tonight because
we don't need to
take people off. No, we don't need to take people off track. But for what they've done to Amory's brother and 46 other people who've been killed in custody since 2004. 46, folks. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's absurd.
In that facility?
Yes, in that facility.
In that facility alone. Yeah.
That's horrible. That's horrifying.
46 folks is unfathomable. And that was brought to their attention today.
Yeah, I mean, our families are under attack in every way. I mean, when I see someone pulled over by the police, I'm worried about them. Like, you know, I'm not worried that they're going to hurt. I don't know. It's just, I'm worried about the people they pull over because we know how they lie and the things that they do. It's a shame that it's turned into this.
Sickness. It's a sickness that has to stop. It's corruption at its finest.
Definitely is.
It's a sickness and it has to stop.
They're sadists.
No, they're criminals.
They are. They're sick. They're sick in the head. They're narcissists and sadists.
Yeah.
Look at how they're acting.
They are criminals, folks. Plain and simple, criminals. The crime syndicate now is called the Black Robe Mafia, New World Order, however you want to put it.
Oh, I like the way you put that. That's brilliant. Black Robe Mafia. I like it. So, one little final fun fact that most people may not know about Las Vegas. Now, most people are under the impression that the mob was run out of the town back in like the 70s, 80s. Well, let me just tell you something, folks. One former mayor of our town, one Oscar Goodman, guess who he also worked for as a lawyer back in those days? He was the mob's main lawyer. So, that being said, folks, what does that tell you about the mob? They never left. They just went freaking dark. They went coy. They went underground, and they're still doing shit. They're still here. They're still running the towns.
But are they the mafia that's behind?
We don't know, but we do know that there's connections, I'm sure.
I mean, this is what I've been researching a lot. It's saying the globalists. It's the globalist elite, with the sick agenda of this new world order and the global corporation.
It's all the world's mafias too, from every country as well. The Khazarians, the other countries' mafias, they're all connected to all of this corruption. It's like a global crime syndicate network on a global scale trying to take us out.
But we're the majority. There's only a handful in comparison to the planet.
Yep.
It's only a handful of goons doing this.
We outnumber them, folks. And if we were to all rise up in unison and unity and united, they would have no choice but to back the fuck down.
Exactly.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And fear, my friends, is false evidence appearing real. Go ahead, Stu.
Let me add a little bit in here. The only federal judge ever removed from the bench in the history of this country was Judge Harry Claiborne from the state of Nevada. He was corrupt. I have had the honor and privilege of pulling over Judge Claiborne outside of Tonopah, Nevada, and writing him a traffic citation for speeding. That's my little gold star. But he tried to use his power and influence. Don't you know who I am?
Please share how they did it.
Get out of it. Yeah. Go ahead and tell us the story for our viewers so they can hear it. I'm sure they would love to hear the inside.
Judge Claiborne was heading to Reno to appear on his case where he Oscar Goodman was involved in this. Oscar Goodman was Harry Claiborne's attorney, Stephen. You remember that? Yes, he was. He was involved with I believe Joe Conforti was involved in this. I'd have to look at it right now, but there was some bribes taken that they basically had direct evidence that Claiborne was taking bribes, and they started an investigation on him. And he was heading to Reno when I clocked him on radar outside of Tonopah. In the 80s, if I can remember the exact speed, I'd be a rocket scientist, but it was over 80 miles an hour. Pulled him over. He's driving a brand new Dodge Ram Charger. The girl in the front seat was not his wife, more or less like a lady of the evening that I could think of. And he started to, I asked for his license and registration. Back then, we didn't have to ask for insurance. And he says, "Is there a problem?" "Yeah, I pulled you over for speeding." Well, I think he said something like, "Everybody speeds out here." "Okay, well, that's fine." And I went back to my patrol car and grabbed my ticket book, came back up. He goes, "You write me a ticket?" I go, "I am, sir." He goes, "Do you know who I am?" I go, "Yeah, Harry Claiborne." He goes, "Do you know who I am?" I go, "You gonna tell me besides Harry Claiborne?" "I'm the judge, Harry Claiborne." I go, "Okay, Judge, nice to meet you. I just need to fill in a few more boxes." He goes, "I can't believe you're writing me a ticket." I said, "Well, sir, you're speeding, and I don't take kindly to being influenced by statements of who I am or who you are," and something to that effect. And goes, "So your name will be on this traffic citation?" "Yes, sir. My badge number will be as well. Have a nice day." That was it. That was the end of the interaction. Nothing special about it. But I did get to write the Judge Claiborne a ticket. And it was kind of a little smile as I walked back to my squad car. And but this is the type of corruption that's prevalent. You've got there's other people involved in this process tonight, folks, that are corrupt, that are what I call the shadow players. Okay, the shadow players are very, very powerful, very influential people. You don't know who they are. They stay in the shadows. Why? Because they're cowards. They're cowards.
That's exactly why they are cowards, and I'm calling them out. Come show yourselves, you motherfuckers.
The cowards that killed Emery's brother. The cowards that killed Nolan Klein.
Excuse my language,
Emery's friend, Tanya Brown's brother, who was unlawfully arrested and prosecuted and sent to prison on a crime he didn't commit. Just like another lady who my father actually had the honor, I guess, now of seeing over when he was the deputy sheriff of Washington County Sheriff's Office. He was in charge of the courts. Well, I wasn't in charge, but he was one of the deputies in the court system. One of the lady by the name of Kathy Woods was arrested for the murder of Michelle Mitchell, a co-ed up here on campus at the University of Nevada, Reno, in 1976. My dad said right out of the gate, this lady didn't kill anybody. She was mentally estranged, yes. She had severe mental issues, yes. Psychoses, yes. Not like delusions of grandeur like Judge Breslow, but that type of scenario. And lo and behold, years after the fact, one detective had saved a cigarette butt they found in the garage where Michelle Mitchell's body was located. And they didn't have DNA back then. But when they had DNA, they ran DNA on that cigarette butt. And guess what? It came back to a serial rapist out of the state of California, who sadly at that point in time had died. But he had been convicted of multiple rapes and sexual assaults in the state of California. And that's the guy who murdered Michelle Mitchell. And he was in Reno at the time. And they had him dead bang. So Kathy Woods got a lot of money from the state of Nevada, from the city of Reno, from the county of Washington. And just like clockwork, and sadly I have to say this, she didn't get a chance to spend that money because she died not long after that from cancer. She'd been in prison for 30-something years unlawfully. So this is the corruption that exists in this state, the corruption that exists in this county, the corruption that exists in this city that is killing Roger Hillygus right now as we speak. And again, I'm getting angry and upset. It's Christmas Eve.
And rightly so.
And that man should be out of custody. And he should be enjoying whatever life he's got left.
He should.
His family and friends. Well, you don't have any family left. With friends who are for his family now.
Yep. So, Stu, real quick, before we wrap it up, I want to get your take on what we discovered yesterday morning with the payoff regarding Debbie Hillygus, and what your thoughts and insights are on that, because that was huge, I think, as well. It finally answered a question we didn't know the answer to until yesterday.
Yeah. Without going into some details that I'm going to keep reserved for some time down the road that are very damning. Let's put it that way. Debbie Hillygus and Roger were married, and then they were divorced a couple years after this whole thing went down. And there's a statement that's made to Kathleen A. Bear that Roger promised me his life and he never gave it to me. And Debbie basically we were found out, Stephen, through your resources, that she was paid $22,500 from the sale of a residence on Nob Hill. There's many other attorneys who were paid a lot of money because that house was paid off. That's $415,000, folks. You do the math, how you want to divide that money up. But Debbie Hillygus got $22,500. And isn't it coincidental? And I will say this tonight to everybody listening in, there's no such thing as coincidences, folks. Isn't it coincidental that Debbie Hillygus took to obtaining an attorney to plead the fifth so she doesn't have to testify in court? Why? She's afraid that we found out what we found out. That's why. And there's a possibility that my ex, and I hate to say this, may have profited. I hope not, but I didn't think Debbie would be the type of person to do that. But my ex,
nor would I have. I did not even take her to be the type, but apparently we were wrong.
You know what? Money does strange things to people. Like I said earlier, I don't give a shit less about the goddamn money, folks. I care about my friend, and we're going to get him out of jail. But Debbie Hillygus has got a due date coming. It's coming soon, and I hope that I'm there to say, "Hey, Debbie, you made a big mistake, and now you, like the rest of these people, are going to wear it, and you're going to go down, and then you're going to be exposed, and you're going to have to explain."
Threw Roger under the bus. Who does that?
A person with no conscience, Stephen. A person who's pervasive by evil. A person who doesn't really truly care about the person that they spent X amount of years, months, and days with, by marriage. A person who is bought off by dirty money. Period. And this is dirty money that's being set forth.
Very, very dirty money. You got blood on your hands, everyone who took that money. You got blood on your hands, whether you know it or not. You do.
Well, let's do them a favor, Stephen. Let's wipe that blood off them with our towels and then stuff them right down their goddamn throats.
Sounds like a plan.
Sorry to use the Lord's name in vain.
No, you're fine. That's what I call justifiable rage, my friend, and it's completely justified.
I want to say something before we exit here. This is a very important day for everybody that's contributed to helping Roger and in justifying his release and advocating his mother's murder at the hands of criminals, the Black Robe Mafia, the New World Order, the narcissistic sons of bitches that sit behind a table and rap a gavel on a freaking use their little hammer. That's what they have. And I'm not talking about the hammer to use on the gavel either. Use their little hammers to wield authority. Use their badges to set forth injurious actions against people and bring people down to the point of crying and pleading for their lives. Your day has come, and we're going to witness it, and we're going to bring you down. And if you get me, if you get some other people, there's thousands of us behind us that will take your ass down. So you go ahead and roll the dice, assholes, and let's see how it comes up snake eyes. It's going to come up snake eyes for you. And on this Christmas Eve, I hope you understand that we're coming, and we're not stopping. And God bless everybody. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, Stu, and everybody else on here and all of our viewers watching. And I want to wrap things up with a little prayer for our friend Roger and Allie's mom as well. That everybody's okay.
And Letty's son.
And Letty's son and everybody else that's being affected by this corruption or that's going through a hard time. So I'm going to extend that prayer to all those people as well. But let me just lead in with a verbal prayer for Roger and your mom, Allie, and then we'll let everybody have a moment of like 30 seconds of silence and we'll wrap it up. Dear Lord, please look after Allie's mother, look after Roger's well-being, keep him safe until such time that he can be released and these corrupt officials do the right thing. Keep everyone in this movement, in this team, on this team, and that's a part of this, including, but not limited to, Allie Carino, Stuart Henty, Roger Hillygus, Letty, Anne-Marie, myself, Kathleen even, and many, many others, Matt Scarlatos, many, many others that have been involved in this. I want to give a shout out to Barbara Stone and Catherine Hine as well. You know, I know a couple of us have been in communication. We should all work together to help stop this. I think that would be a good idea. Three heads are better than one. Let's all unite and put this to end and put this to bed once and for all, this corruption. I think that we put our forces together, we might actually pull it off on a level that they've never seen before. And dear Lord, sorry I went up on a little tangent, but anyways, keep us all safe, keep Roger safe, keep Allie's mom safe, keep Letty's son safe, allow everybody that's been affected by this corruption to get the justice they deserve and are entitled to, accountability under the law. And I don't mean justice as in violence or lax back. I mean accountability under the law, folks. I want to be clear because certain groups of bad actors have tried to label people in this movement that are constitutionalists as sovereign citizens. Well, let me tell you something. Just like the term conspiracy theory, sovereign citizen is another made-up one. So keep that in mind, folks. We're going to be doing a segment on that. And Lord, thank you for looking out for all my family, my friends, my team, my coworkers, my colleagues. Amen.
Amen. And God bless you, Stephen.
Sorry, I got a little sidetracked there with my thought process. So
No, you did good. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
I was thinking I was talking to the audience, but I was really talking to God well, I am talking to the audience, but I went up on a tangent. But I think God heard me too, and I think that will be important information for him to know as well. That he already knows, obviously.
He's driving this.
He is. He really is. He really is. You know, I had a really cool experience. I'll tell you guys after the live a little bit later at the laundromat. You guys will you'll appreciate the synchronicity of it. It was totally God right there. And thank you everybody for joining us. Letty and Anne-Marie, will you guys want to join us next week when we do the article coverage on this with the horizontal scroll bar and source links like we did for the last one? I'd love to have you guys.
Thank you, Stephen, for the invite and for having me tonight. And
absolutely.
We continue iron sharpens iron, and we are standing together, and we know what's going on, and we're going to expose the truth. The truth is going to come out. Roger and Stuart should not have been charged with this crime. They know this. And we're going to prove that.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yep.
God bless you, Liddy.
Bless you,
God
Stuart.
bless. God bless everyone on here.
Yeah.
And Merry Christmas
to
Eve
everyone.
to everyone, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, folks.
Merry
Viewers.
Love you all. Good night.
Good night, guys. Love you too.
Love everybody on here, all the team, everybody that's participated, that's advocated. I mean, I consider every one of you guys family, and I even consider all of my viewers like family as well.
Steven, your leadership is awesome. We admire you. We couldn't have done it without you, and you inspire us. So keep rocking.
I'm glad I'm able to inspire and give people hope. That's all I really ever wanted to do. And thank you. And I couldn't have done it without you guys either. So it's a team effort.
Yep.
I'm just team leader, but without you guys, we wouldn't have a movement. And I just want to acknowledge that.
Power to the people.
Yes, power to the people.
Power to the people.
Good night, everybody. Stay tuned. We're going to be doing another live next week on New Year's Eve with the article coverage of this timeline. So stay tuned and much, much more. Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this 4-hour premiere. Merry Christmas, you guys.
Merry Christmas. Love you all. Bye.
Ditto. All right.